Good morning. Let me let the Discord know. Got a little bit of salt this morning. There we go. Put my mod stuff here. How's everybody doing? Good to see you. Green Leftist, welcome. Probably gonna start off every show for a little while with this Republican prayer here. Good morning, Allie. Good morning, Whisper. Good morning to everybody. As the Republicans pray every morning, dear Lord, please find it in your heart to inflict some unimaginable suffering and misery upon the American people, so that we Republicans can blame it on Joe Biden. I would say that the misery doesn't necessarily have to be on the American people. I think they'll just take misery in general. It seems to be a Republican value at this point. What I didn't expect to happen this morning is I didn't expect to wake up, to jump online, to start checking Twitter. I go to Newsmax, I go to Fox, I go to OAN. What I didn't expect to find is that I would wake up this morning and watch a video and find myself agreeing with Ben Shapiro, at least partially, but here we go. This is Ben Shapiro responding to a clip from Tucker Carlson interviewing Vivek Ramaswamy, and here you go.
And again, I want to add my voice to that because I'm a human being. But
sure you do.
You
sound very outraged.
The outrage among Republican presidential candidates was so much more intense. One of them took to a bullhorn and started yelling about it. I get it. But no one would think to do that about the 100,000 American young people murdered every year.
Because who are you yelling at? Who are you yelling at? First of all, people are on bullhorns yelling about drug overdoses and the open border all the time. All the time. What is he even talking about? What he's attempting to is minimize what happened in Israel. He's not attempting to maximize what happened in the United States. He's attempting to minimize, as though America can't walk and chew gum, morally speaking, at the same time. Which is absurd. And those two things are nothing alike. I'm sorry, that is not alike. It is not alike for drug smugglers to smuggle drugs over the border, which someone then takes and shoves into their arm and then they die of an overdose. That is not the same thing. I promise you, it is not the same thing as a terrorist breaking into your home and murdering your children in their beds in front of you and dragging your wife off to be raped in Gaza. That is not the same thing. Pretending that it is immoral. It's a moral blight. It's idiocy. It's just moral stupidity at the highest level. Of course we should care about what happens with fentanyl. Of course we should care about, we should close our border. Have I been unclear about this? Of course America should have closed borders when it comes to this sort of stuff. I'm on the same side as Tucker on that. I just don't understand why he's not on my side when it comes to Hamas has to be wiped off the face of the earth. What is...
There we go. Disconnected my mic for a second. Sorry about that. Outside of closing the southern border, I did not expect to agree with Ben Shapiro, but Ben Shapiro's absolutely right. And Ben Shapiro this morning led me on a deep dive. Don't say I don't listen to right-wing media, all you MAGA out here. Ben Shapiro led me on a deep dive. I can tell you exactly what I searched. I searched 3 words on Twitter. I searched Israel, Southern, and border. That's all I looked up. And I went on a dive that took me through a roller coaster of this is what Republicans do. Republicans, it fits so well with this. Republicans love when something bad happens, especially when something bad happens under a Democrat administration, because they get to get on their high horse, they get to loosely link things together, and they get to parade around it with their outrage culture, because that's basically what Republicans have become. Republicans have become just a bunch of sniveling, whiny little bitches that just love to complain. And when they have nothing to complain about, you see what happens. They have actually nothing to say. If they don't have something to complain about, they have nothing to say. The entirety of Republicanism has just become grievances. So much so that yesterday, Nikki Haley, and I can see if I can pull this up. Nikki Haley made some comments about wiping Hamas off the face of the earth, about not comparing it to the southern border. Here we go. Here's the Nikki Haley clip. Nikki Haley got trashed for this by the Republicans.
We have to completely eliminate Hamas. But what I want the American people to remember is we've seen the images, and as horrific as they are, and as heartbreaking as all of this is, we are saying right now, eliminate Hamas. I can tell you because it happened all the time at the UN. When they start that ground game, when Israel starts to move in to eliminate Hamas further, you're going to have all these other countries and you're going to have Americans say, you need to show constraint. You need to be able to pull back. No, they need to eliminate Hamas. We are supporting Israel now because they've been hit. But the more important part is we have to support them when they hit back as well. Don't tell them to stop. They saw too much death. They saw too much destruction, and Hamas will do it again. We have to eliminate them regardless of how they try and intimidate us. And we have to remember the reason we have Israel's back is because it's not that that Israel needs America. America needs Israel. They're the front line of defense to this jihad terrorism. And that the next thing they want is America. And we should never be so arrogant to think that we don't need friends. We have to
Yeah, that was apparently too much for some Republicans. It was not crazy enough for some Republicans to simply say we must get rid of Hamas, and that we can support Israel in getting rid of Hamas. That wasn't enough. It wasn't enough for some Republicans. Then we'll move on here to Tucker Carlson. I probably won't go into it too much. He interviewed Dominik Tchaikovsky. He's a Polish lawmaker. And he said that in Poland they have no issues because they don't accept Muslims into Poland. Interesting now that Tucker is transitioning all of this stuff that's happening in Israel and in Palestine, and he's using it to go after Muslims. He's using it to talk about protectionism. He's using it to talk about nationalism. Not to actually talk about the issues, but of course, what would you do? What's the most sensible thing to do if you are somebody who covers events, if you cover current news? If there is a terrorist activity in Israel with Hamas, naturally, the first thing that you would do is go speak with a right-wing Polish lawmaker who says the best way to have your country be peaceful is to not accept Muslims. Of course, that's what Tucker would do. Of course. Then we have Donald Trump. What's Trump going to do? Is he going to be sensible about this? We talked about him yesterday. We talked about how Hamas was so smart because he loves dictators. He loves to compliment awful people. So what's he going to do? Is he going to say something sensible? Let's find out.
That was meant for war. Now, who could imagine a war, right? With people pouring into our country and we have no idea from where they come. The same people in many cases, the same people that just attacked Israel. You know that, right? Can you imagine what this guy has done to us, what he's done to us? That would have never happened. The attack on Israel would never, ever have happened. The attack on Ukraine would never have happened.
Yeah, sure. Southern border, right? It's Joe Biden's fault. These are the same people coming across the southern border are the same people that attacked Israel. Got it. I think that it's possible that Donald Trump just means brown people. I think it's possible. I think he possibly just means that. He may not know the difference. By the way, he sounds like shit. He sounds like his tongue has swollen like 5 sizes too big lately. He can't get words out. It's like, there's a lot of that. He sounds terrible. For all of you who have a problem with Joe Biden's age and your Trump supporters, like, with all due respect, shut the fuck up. We've had enough of that. He sounds awful. He doesn't make any sense. And somehow he has turned this conflict in Israel and Palestine into a southern border crisis. Again, says the same people. Then we'll find Steve Bannon, because Steve Bannon, he's going to say something sensible. Are you seeing a pattern here? That Republicans will take any opportunity, the atrocities that are taking place in the Middle East, and Republicans, instead of discussing that, instead of offering solutions, instead of offering their opinion, they will do everything in their power to blame Joe Biden and to try and close our southern border as if that is the problem. Here is Steve Bannon, our favorite Christian nationalist.
Are going to go to the border. We got Todd Bensman, who's the expert. There's a fifth column in this country. The problem, the fifth column, maybe millions of people, millions of invaders. We've done it to ourselves. Once an eagle, what's the saying of Persian? Once an eagle stricken by an arrow, said by my own hand I am smitten.
First of all, what the fuck are you talking about, Steve Bannon? What are you even talking about there with the eagle smitten by an arrow? And second of all, again, the fifth column, maybe millions of Hamas invaders is what he's predicting. Millions of Hamas invaders across our southern border. Okay. All right. Let's see what Fox News does. Let's see. Fox News wouldn't dare use atrocities in the Middle East to talk about the southern border. I'm sure they wouldn't. Let's see what Fox has to say.
As radical Muslims storm the Israeli border and butcher civilians, how secure is our border? Over 250 foreigners on the terror watch.
From Donald Trump. Literally take a talking point, and they pulled... Did you see the fast one that they pulled there? That they always use the same shit Trump does. They say about 500,000, probably 1.5 million. Oh, okay. That's a big jump. It's 500,000, but it's probably 3 times that amount. They're learning things from Trump. You say the real number, that's probably too high anyways. You take a number, like the highest number you possibly can anybody else has recorded, then you times it by 3, 5, 10, 20, whatever, who cares? You make up a new number so that people think like, oh, 500,000, it's got to be 1.5 because everybody's lying. And last but not least, Dana Perino. I'll skip through a bunch of this, right? This is I forget this guy's name. He's the guy. Do you guys watch Parks and Rec? Do you remember in Parks and Rec they when the April and what's his face went and they worked in Washington and they worked for that senator, and he was like he was a robot or he was a bot, and he would just stop and stare at the wall. This guy, I don't know who this guy is. He looks exactly fucking like that guy, but he has a map out. He's showing like the layout of the different countries where Lebanon, Syria, Israel, Gaza Strip, Egypt, and this is how this clip ends.
Over time in history.
So what you're saying, Bill, is that the Egyptians want to protect their border and know who's coming into their country. That is a novel concept. Thank you very much, Bill. Up next is...
Keep telling me that the Republicans have thoughts of their own, would you? Keep telling me these guys have thoughts of their own. Every fucking one of them just takes a Donald Trump speech at a rally where he's chewing on his tongue and stumbling over his words, and it immediately becomes the #1 talking point for Tucker Carlson, for Fox News, for Newsmax, for OAN. And you have the one seeming outlier of Ben Shapiro and a little bit of Nikki Haley like, yo, what the fuck? Like, why are we talking about the southern border right now? Are you not seeing? This is nowhere near our southern border. Nowhere near our southern border. You got 2 people in the GOP who are willing to be like, hey, could we not be fucking psychos for like 2 seconds? Could we not make everything Joe Biden's fault for like 2 fucking seconds? And the Republican Party's like, nah, we gotta keep being psychos. We just gotta keep doing it. Box is open. I saw some people in here in the box earlier. I'd love to take opposition. I'll put up. Actually, I'm gonna leave this shit up. Whoops. Something. My TikTok started playing there. What is this? Oh, Tuberville fell down some stairs? Hold on. Oh! Have you guys seen Tommy Tuberville falling down the stairs? Have you guys seen that? All the shots he's taken at Biden. Oh, Tommy Tuberville ate shit going down the stairs. I don't know how old this video is. I just saw it. I've never seen this before. This is from Rochelle. Rochelle, I don't know if you're here. Hillbilly ex-evangelical or ex-evangelical. I have not seen that. That is fucking incredible. Yeah, it's on a slip and slide. I had not seen that yet. That's amazing. Welcome. Sorry, I didn't see the name there. Dark Kid.
What's up, brother?
What's up?
So, my account got bananas, sir.
Oh, sorry about that.
Yeah, so I'm going to give you a follow. Hopefully you can, show some love back. So what happened was I called the Trumpers out, and I called the Trumpers. Yes. It's okay if Jaden play with the toys. Okay, all right. Okay, you want pizza? Okay, all right. I see him. He's not doing nothing wrong. Quit being a snitch. All right,
Don't be a snitch.
Right back. Hold on.
Good. While we're waiting for those of you, I did put up the first 2 Miss Julie videos on TikTok, so you can see those. I have the third one ready. Hopefully the fourth and the fifth. I will have the entire series out this weekend. I apologize to Miss Julie for how long I took there, but you can check those out. And then I'll put it all together in one clip, but Whisper will probably put it together and make it look better than I did. I just gave Whisper an assignment that he doesn't know about. All right. Just some awkward silence here. That's terrific. I'll go over to...
So this is what happened. So I'm going to show you something.
Okay.
So I called the Trumpers racist, right? And I stood by what I said. And I said, convince me, right? So this is what I did. You ready?
Yep.
This is what I put up.
Great. I hope I don't get bitten. Are you trying to get me? Are you trying to get me taken down? What are you taking down? You got taken down. Don't get me taken down too.
Okay, no, but I put that shirt up there, right? And I said, okay, so they came in the live stream. It wasn't the shirt, right? They couldn't convince me that Trump was not a racist. So they got triggered because I debunked them on everything, right? I got facts, I got sources, I pulled Google, I literally pulled everything up that they debunked, right? They got so pissed off with me, they mass reported my account and got it taken down.
Jesus, for good or for like a week?
They permabanned it.
Wow.
Like literally when TikTok said they could not give me my account back, I appealed it. It went through the channel. They sent me an email which said we're unable to give you your account back.
Oh. Well, I'm sorry to hear that. Well, give Dark Kid a follow then. Looks like we're rebuilding.
Yeah. Well,
you gotta put up one of those like we will rebuild things. You gotta make a we will rebuild video. Put some dramatic music behind it. And maybe like some of that, like a real sad one, like for just $1 a day or just a follow a day or just a like a day, you can help Dark Kid regain his prominence.
Yeah, no, I just saw you. I was just scrolling through TikTok, and I don't know if you hear her. She said she wants to do something with my son's police car. I don't know what that means, but
I don't. Wait, what did you just say? What did you say?
Oh, guys, thanks for the gifts. I appreciate that. I don't know, like, thank you. That's very generous. So I know you want more opposition. I'm not opposition, but I know you want to get some opposition up here. But
That's all right, brother. Well, I'm sorry about your account. Everybody give him a follow. All right, we'll see it. I'm looking at Agenda 47 right now. I still had a tab open, and I thought it was maybe something I had prepped for this. No. I think Donald Trump got rid of the part out of Agenda 47 that we've been critical of. Did we get Donald Trump to take some shit down? I no longer see the part about him. Did they take it out of Project 2025 either, too? I think they took down the part about the FEC and the FCC and the FTC. They've totally redone this. They've either hidden it somewhere or they took it down. It used to be on page 3, and it was the third one or maybe second one. Wow. They totally changed it. Let's see. Here's what they replaced it with. This is interesting. They've replaced it with Free Speech Policy Initiative. So this is the first time I'm reading this. I'll read it. First, within hours of my inauguration, I will sign an executive order banning any federal department or agency from colluding with any organization, business, or person. Oh, Jesus. Order banning any federal department or agency from colluding with any organization, business, or person to censor, limit, categorize, or impede the lawful speech of American citizens. Categorize? You can't. Whoa! I will then ban federal money from being used to label domestic speech as mis or disinformation. So you cannot. So if any of these companies are getting federal money, this is any organization, this is any business, any person. No federal money can be given to them if they label domestic speech, which I assume is just like any speech coming from people in America, as mis or disinformation, and I will begin the process of identifying and firing every bureau. Okay, so he's just reworded this a little bit. It's still the same. Second, I will order the DOJ to investigate all parties involved in the new online censorship regime. That didn't change. Upon my inauguration, I'll ask Congress to send a bill revising 230. No, that's the same. Okay, so most of it's actually the same. He just appears to have gotten rid of the part where he talks about the FEC, FTC, and FCC. This is interesting. If anybody knows how to use the Wayback Machine, it would be interesting to see when he changed that. And now he's declared war on the cartels. Let's see what he did here. This is new. Trump action plan to destroy the drug cartels. Restore all Trump border policies and fully secure the border. Okay, so that's nonsense because the border was never fully secured, so whatever that means. Deploy all necessary military assets, including the Navy, to impose a full naval embargo on the cartels to ensure that they cannot use our region's waters to traffic illicit drugs to the United States. I don't know if they're allowed to do that. I don't know what the legality of that is, but if we're being honest, I would rather see our Navy here than overseas. Like if you're stopping drug running boats, I don't hate that. I don't know what the legality of that. Navy up the Rio, correct. The Navy would have to be in the seas, right? Order the DOD to make appropriate use of special forces, cyber warfare, and other covert and overt actions to inflict maximum damage on cartels. Okay, that's never been a problem. It's never been a problem when we use special forces to go into other countries and take down cartels or take down leadership. That's never caused a problem. That's never a vacuum. That's never a vacuum that continually gets worse. Look, these ideas, when I was a Republican, this sounded sensible to me. It really did. It was like, well, of course, like you have to hit them where it hurts and then they'll stop. Well, they'll stop, but somebody else is going to replace them. You do not stop the drugs coming into this country until you stop the need for drugs in this country. So until we stop demanding that drugs be put into our country, until we take care of our own drug problems, then we're not going to stop this. And when the more violence we impose, the more violent they will get. That's how this works. Coast Guard Navy has for years, very good for training. Okay. Designate the major drug cartels as foreign terrorist organizations. That's fine. Cut off the cartels' access to the global financial system. How? How are you going to do that? Get full cooperation of neighboring governments to dismantle the cartels. I would like that. I don't think Donald Trump's the one that's going to bring us together and bring other countries together. Ask Congress to ensure drug smugglers and traffickers can receive the death penalty. Yeah, we need that. There's that authoritarianism that we love so much from Republicans. Let's see what we got here. Coast Guard is technically a military force and has been fighting drug running in the Gulf and Pacific for a long time. The Navy probably wouldn't take over. They would just start providing more support. Okay, thank you. Whisper. Now we're going to talk about the numbers from the Joe Biden. See, this is me going to be balanced here. I'm going to be balanced right now. Here's what he's saying about the Biden's deadly destruction of our border. Joe Biden has spent the last 2 years dismantling the southern border. You guys got to stop it with that shit. You guys really need to stop it with that shit. This is like systematically, this is what Joe Biden was trying to do. That he's trying to open up the borders so that we get taken over. Like, what are you talking about? An estimated 200,000 Americans have died from drug overdoses since Joe Biden took office. It's going to be pretty hard to blame on him. Hundreds of thousands of ultra-lethal fentanyl, heroin, meth, cocaine, and other illicit narcotics pouring over our wide-open border. I've been to the border within the last, 3 months. It's not wide open. But fentanyl's a real problem. Stopped wall construction. All right, the rest of this is pretty much just Donald Trump saying shit about Joe Biden that I would have to fact check. I'll come back to this on Monday. I'll fact check what he's saying and see if I can get the actual numbers there. Da Bears, welcome.
Hi, man.
Hey, good morning.
So,
happy Friday to you. It's lovely to see you.
Happy Friday. So, I just find it kind of ironic that that Biden's gonna finish 20 miles of border wall when he said he's never gonna do that.
Why is that ironic?
Because now Biden's building Trump's wall.
He's gonna finish 20 miles of it?
I think that's just extremely funny.
What's funny about it?
It's like, haha, laugh in your face.
Huh. I don't think it's super funny.
Well, of course you don't.
Well, why is it funny? I don't get why it's funny.
Because I would say most liberals said they hate the wall, and now Biden's going to finish the wall. 20 miles.
Well, he's not going to finish it, right? He's going to add some all, but yeah, I think he's had a course correction there. It seems like you would be happy about. That's a weird thing for you to like think was ironic and funny. Why wouldn't you be happy about that? Seems like he's doing the stuff that you would want.
I just think it's really funny.
I think this is a good look into like who Republicans have become. Like,
No, I'm not a Republican.
If he did, well, sure you're not. If he did 20 miles, if he builds 20 miles of wall, that's 6 more miles than Donald Trump. And instead of being like, hey, this is great, thanks Joe Biden, thanks for doing the things that we want, you instead are like, well, he said he wouldn't, and now he's doing it. Why aren't you happy about this?
I'm 100% not for the wall. I don't think the wall works. I think
I agree
go
with you,
under the
actually,
wall.
there.
They go over the wall.
Okay.
What I really think we need to do is keep the military there at all times, and if anyone comes over with anything, you shoot them right away.
All right, I thought we had common ground, and then we immediately didn't. Okay. So you want it to be, yeah, okay. We probably disagree on that part. I also think walls don't work very well. They don't keep that many people out. They work for the poorest of the poor, the people who are trying to come over.
Well, how come these people just can't just apply and then they could go through the port of entry? Why can't they do that?
Well, if they're not seeking asylum, right, it's going to be a lot. It's going to take a lot. Whoa, I was almost
How
done.
come they can't just go through the port of entry?
Wait. Well, I was explaining that to you.
And not through the fucking river.
Yeah.
Why do they have to walk through the water?
Well, if you'd like me to explain, I could do that for you.
Sure.
Do that? Okay. So if they're not seeking asylum, then it's likely that they're trying to get across the border to work quickly, or whatever they're coming here for. They want to do so quickly, and it's not a quick process if you just show up at a port of entry, right?
Yeah, that's the whole point of it.
Yeah.
It's like the DMV here. You have to wait and wait and wait and wait and wait.
Yeah.
Is that a problem?
The DMV or at the border?
The port of entry, is that a huge problem for some people?
That it takes so long?
The right way?
Well, yeah, I would like to see one of the issues that we have at the southern border is that there are people who want to come and work, or there are people that are just trying to make a better life, but they can't wait that amount of time. And so they come over illegally. If we had a better system, all right. Well, if we had a better system, if it was easy to get here to work, whether you get a citizenship or not, if we made it easier for people to come and work, then we'd probably have less illegal border crossings.
In Europe, you're
80%
more.
Wait, don't leave don't leave it yet.
Visa.
Wait, I'm trying to find some common ground. Right?
Yeah,
that'd make it easier.
But no, it seems like Democrats or Republicans can't figure that out.
Well, certainly, yeah, I agree with you. I think neither party has done a very good job on the southern border. I'd agree with that.
But how come the Democrats like to just invite people over, have Border Patrol cut the wire, put blankets down for them?
Because unlike you, like we view them as human, and we don't want to hurt. We don't want to. Well, you were just advocating that if they come across, we shoot them. So like I was drawing a dichotomy. Democrats largely will be like, hey, we don't want to hurt you.
It's a crime.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying. There's a lot of crimes that don't require shooting somebody. In fact, most crimes. But what I'm trying to answer your question. Democrats would probably just be like, hey, we're going to be humanitarian here. We're not going to just shoot people for coming across the border. And like they're getting cut up. We're seeing women and children. We're seeing people who are dehydrated. We don't want to just be cruel and send them back. And maybe people take advantage of the hearts of Democrats. That's probably true. But I would rather be the country that like shows compassion than the country that like stands there at the border with their gun ready, like just hoping somebody jumps across the border.
And how come liberals don't like to advocate for European migrants?
What do you mean?
They don't like to advocate for them.
What do you mean?
They're not telling European migrants to come here.
I don't think we're telling anybody to come here. Do you remember the greatest gif of all time with Kamala Harris saying "Don't come," and then Donald Trump going, "I'm gonna come." Yeah, like I don't think anybody. We're not telling people to come here.
Just like they were chanting Biden's name after Title 42.
That was a weird transition. Do you want to stay on subject or do you want to go to that one?
That is on subject.
How's that on subject? Those aren't Democrats. The
Oh,
people
don't come, but we're not going to do anything if we stop. We're not going to stop you if you do.
by not doing anything.
We're not going to stop you. But
by
they were
not doing. Yeah,
But they were chanting Biden's name the minute they came over.
Yeah, but by not doing anything, of course, you mean like us not doing something is just not shooting them, right?
Well,
Is that what you mean by not doing anything?
Everyone knows.
No, is that what you mean by not doing anything?
What do you mean?
What I said is, you said Democrats are like, we're not going to do anything. Well, we've done some things, but we don't shoot them. So is that what you're saying is the difference? Like, when you say we won't do anything, you mean we're not going to shoot you?
Well, I'll tell you, the things you have done are completely wrong.
Jesus Christ, dude. Have you ever answered a question before? I just asked you a very simple question. Is that what you mean? You can just say yes or no.
No.
Okay, so what do you mean?
That once they came to the border, they were chanting Biden's name. That's what I mean.
Okay, but okay, you're skipping that part. What you said is Democrats don't do anything when they come to the border. Clearly, Democrats do something, right?
No, they do absolutely nothing.
They do nothing. They just say, "Come on in," and they just watch them walk by.
They say, "Come on in. We'll put you on a bus, and you could go to beautiful city, New York."
Okay. Do they try and process like asylum seekers?
Well, Alejandro Mayorkas is just a complete asshole. He's done absolutely nothing.
Okay, so here's the thing, dude. Like, you got to answer questions. When I ask a question, hear the words that I say, and then you could answer the question. And then if you have a question after that, then you could answer the question. But saying Mayorkas is an asshole is not even close to an answer to what I asked.
What's your question?
I said, we'll go back to this. You're saying Democrats do nothing. They clearly do something. What you're saying, I think what you're trying to say is they don't do enough, right?
Yes.
Okay. So how would you solve the border?
I think I said that the first minute I came in here.
So your idea is just
don't let anyone in. No one in.
Nobody
except
comes
through
in.
the port of entry. If they come over through the river, if they climb over the wall, you shoot them.
Would you like to be one of the people responsible for covering the border, like you there with a gun, watching to see if anybody came over the border?
If I was in the military, I would do it.
Well, it wouldn't be the military, right? It would be CBP.
Or border. No, I said send the military.
Well, the military is not really allowed to do that, so it would have to be Border Patrol.
Well, so your question is, if I was commander-in-chief, would I send the military? Yes, I would.
But you're not allowed to.
I'll have if I win president, I would probably win the House and the Senate. So then I would probably.
So you just change like our entire structure, and you would now allow our military to occupy like our own country.
No, I would say protect. I wouldn't say occupy.
Okay. Well, where are they going to stay?
They could stay in the cages that Obama built.
You want our military to stay in cages?
That Obama built, yes.
That's crazy, man. I think the military won't be very excited if you're president. I think they would rather not stay in cages.
Well, it looks like we don't respect our military whatsoever. That's
well, it looks like you don't respect the military. What I'm saying is I don't want the military down there on the border staying in cages, and what you're saying is you want the military down there staying in cages. Well, so it sounds like you are the one that doesn't like the military.
Yeah, I want to put them in the cages that Obama built, and they could.
Yeah, no, I heard that. I heard that every time. I want them to not be at the border, and if they were down there, I would want them to have good housing, and you want them to stay in the cages that Obama built. You want our military in cages that Obama built, is what you're saying.
Yeah,
is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I'm all for
Okay, cool. So for all you military in here, I know Courtney's in here. I don't know who else here is in the military. Just remember that this guy wants you to live in cages and sit at the border and shoot anybody who comes across the border. Got it.
Yeah,
dope.
I want to house our military.
Now, how would you know? How would you know if that person was seeking asylum or not?
Yeah,
that came across the border. How would you know?
Well, I just want to backtrack real quick.
No, I was asking a question real quick. How would you know that?
If what?
If somebody that was coming across the border, not at a port of entry, was an asylum seeker.
It's either you come through the port of entry, or you commit a crime and get shot. It's that
okay. So
simple.
if an asylum seeker comes across not at a port of entry, you're going to shoot them.
Yes.
How do you think the rest of the world is going to react to us shooting asylum seekers?
How do you think we react to North Korea with them not letting them in?
Don't answer questions with questions. How do you think the rest of the world would react to us shooting asylum seekers when they came across the border?
They would probably be proud for standing our ground.
They would be proud.
But I just want to backtrack real quick on the.
I bet you do.
On the hypothetical
I would too.
Of the military and the housing. I was just joking around with the cages. I would really like to put.
Yeah, because you were just kind of trolling. You were trying to blame something on Obama there real quick, weren't you?
Well, I wasn't blaming. I was speaking facts there.
Yeah, no, I know. But what you want to do is take a shot at Obama and Democrats. You're not really that serious about the things you say. You just really hate Democrats, it seems like. And it kind of sounds like you don't like brown people either.
Brown? What do you mean brown people?
Just kind of seems like that.
What does that mean?
You can
brown
keep going.
People.
You can keep
going. I just want to backtrack on the hypothetical of the military and how we house them. What I would say is we should house all the homeless military people and kick out all the immigrants that are living for free in hotels in New York and Chicago and getting free money.
That has nothing to do with what we're talking about. You realize that, right?
We should kick them out and put our homeless vets into those hotels and not illegal immigrants.
Why don't we take care of both?
Well, we certainly can't take care of illegal immigrants first and then our homeless.
No, why can't we take care of both?
It seems like the Democratic Party just hates.
Well, your party's doing nothing for either of them, so at least the Democrats are doing something. But why can't we take care of both? You muted there, pal. Oh, phone call.
I say take care of both for sure.
Okay, cool. So let's just do that. Why do you have to demonize immigrants? Why can't you just be like, hey, we should also take care of our homeless veterans?
No one's demonizing anyone.
No, you are. But here's the thing that I don't understand about.
What do you mean?
You say you're not a conservative, not a Republican. You're clearly on the right. My thing is like it seems to be that everything.
No,
that
I'm not.
You think I was almost.
I'm not
done.
though.
That's fine. It seems to be that people who are anti-Democrat then, or who don't like Democrats, that really you don't have real solutions. You just want to complain about shit. Like this, it's so silly to do this day after day after day. Like your entire like mode of thinking is just grievances. I'm upset about Democrats doing this. You don't have real solutions. You don't want to actually fix things. You don't want to look at like what the causes are. You want to hurt people physically. You want to have really strict. You want to have really strict laws, and you want to complain about Democrats.
It seems like when Trump said he's going to build the wall, all the Democrats complained and called him a racist. What are you talking about?
Nobody called him a racist because Hold on, shut up, dude. Wait till the end of sentences, okay? Then you'll hear the whole thing, and then you can react to the whole sentence. Nobody called him a racist because he said, I want to build a wall.
Or a xenophobe.
It was the other shit he said. It was the stuff that he was saying outside of build a wall. Like, they're sending us... Yeah. And then well, you see, you think that too, and that's why you like what he says. But like, you're also probably a little bit racist. If you if you thought that was if you thought what he said was smart, if you agree with what he said, then yeah, I would also say that sounds a little racist, dude.
No, what he said was people coming from Mexico. There are some people that are not in their best intentions.
When Mexico sends its people, they are not sending their best. They're sending people that have lots of problems, and they're bringing those problems with us. They're bringing drugs. They're bringing crime. They're rapists. And some, I assume, are good people. He was definitive about all the people Mexico was sending, all these awful people. And then he said, and I assume some of them are good people. Yeah, that's a little racist, dude. And it's stupid. It's also stupid. It's stupid. Well, all racism's stupid anyways. But it was stupid and it was racist. And that's why people called him racist. Whether he is or he isn't, that's up to everybody's interpretation. But nobody was like, building a wall, that's racist. That's not why people thought he was racist.
Okay.
Yeah.
But so the Democratic Party is not racist?
I don't think either party is racist. I think that there are probably racists in both parties.
It seems like the Democratic Party really supports the BLM movement, and they put out a disgusting post 2 days ago.
Well, the BLM movement and BLM are different things, so that's silly. I went to BLM rallies. If you went to a BLM rally now,
so you rioted?
No, I didn't. I was in Phoenix. Actually, the only people that got in trouble in the rally I was in wound up being the police, because our governor, Doug Ducey, while people were out there demonstrating, changed the curfew, but he did it like while everybody's out there, so nobody knew the curfew.
So you're going to sit on
I was almost done. I was almost done. And so then when everybody tried to leave downtown and get back on the freeways, they were all getting curfew tickets, and those curfew tickets wound up like getting reversed because it was disgusting what he did. So there were no riots. There were no fight. I saw no violence at all.
There was no riots at the BLM.
At the one I was at, you potato.
Okay, so you're going to sit on this app and defend BLM when they put out a disgusting post saying kill all Jews?
No, what I said is the movement of BLM and the organization of BLM are different. And if you went to a rally like I did,
there's no movement.
I'm almost done, dude. You got to wait till the end of sentences, dog.
There's no movement without.
You got to wait until I'm done, dude. If you went down and you asked people who were the leaders of the BLM organization, nobody would know. Not one person would know. The people who made the money off of BLM are grifters. They're gross. They're not good people. I totally and completely denounce them, and I denounce what they did.
So
and
if they
put up a tweet that was racist, I would denounce that too. But in no way would that invalidate the movement as a whole. Not even close.
It wasn't just racist. They were calling for mass genocide.
Okay, then if that really did happen, then I denounce that, and I think most people would denounce that. But I'm being told that they didn't put up a tweet like that. Does anybody have the tweet in Discord?
How about you go on the internet and type in BLM Palestine, where they put up a guy in a parachute and say "We stand with Palestine"? Are you kidding me?
I don't know. I haven't seen it. I've got to look it up. You said what do you want me to look up?
Just look up a BLM Palestine tweet calling for the mass genocide of a race.
Let's see. So it was which account did it come from?
Was the guy on a paraglider?
Hey, hold on. I'm trying to find it. Which account?
Go on the internet.
Bro, I'm on the fucking internet. I'm trying to help you with your point here. I'm asking you who tweeted it so I can find the fucking tweet.
The BLM organization. Just type in BLM Palestine picture.
Okay. So this is from BLM Chicago. And it says, "I stand with Palestine."
And can you
and there's a guy there's a guy parachuting.
Yeah, so that's absolutely disgusting, and they call for the genocide of a race. And you stand with those people?
No.
You just said you're a supporter of the BLM.
No, I'm a supporter of a BLM movement. There are plenty of people within BLM that I don't agree with. This is from BLM Chicago, so this is I don't know who formed this. I don't know who this is.
Obviously, the BLM.
I'm looking at their Twitter. There seems to be a lot of stuff they say that I probably wouldn't agree with.
So you're not a supporter of BLM?
I don't know how many more times I need to say this. Like the movement of BLM, I'm a supporter of. Are there people that are within that movement or people that grift off that movement that I don't agree with? Absolutely.
Are you a supporter?
It's called nuance, my friend.
Are you a supporter of White Lives Matter?
Hell no. Yeah, I didn't even know that. Is that a real is that like a real organization?
Yeah.
That's stupid. Whoever started that.
I'm not a supporter of it.
Why would I be in support of that?
Would you support hypothetical All Lives Matter?
No, I think that's stupid.
Okay, so
can I tell you why? Because Black Lives Matter isn't saying that like other lives don't matter. It's not saying that Black lives matter more. It's simply saying that Black lives matter, and it's a reminder for people, for anybody who thinks that Black lives don't matter. That's what Black Lives Matter is. So if somebody says like Black Lives Matter, and then they're like all lives matter, white lives matter. It's like, oh, you're just offended. Like you're just upset that people are saying Black Lives Matter, and you somehow took that as a personal attack. Literally saying Black Lives Matter, it's not saying anything about any other group of people. It's only saying that Black Lives Matter. That's it. That's the whole thing. So these counter, like, and anybody who creates these counter groups, it's weird how every time they wind up just being like a white nationalist. It's weird. And if they're not a white nationalist, it's weird how many white nationalists flock to those groups and who put up the All Lives Matter or the White Lives Matter. It's weird how those groups get infiltrated by white nationalists, isn't it? Are you a white nationalist?
No, my parents are from Cuba.
I was just asking a question. I don't know why you're getting upset. I just asked if you were a white nationalist. That's it.
I'm actually 100% Cuban, but I'm not even white.
You could have just said no. That's all you had to say.
Kind of a weird question.
It's not a weird question. You can ask me the same question. Go ahead.
No, I don't feel comfortable.
Okay. Well, if somebody asked me if I was a white nationalist, I would just say no. That's it. I just say no. I wouldn't have to use like my ethnicity as proof. Is it because you've been accused of that a lot? Is that why you're defensive about it?
I don't think I've ever been accused of being white when I'm
being a white nationalist. I said.
No, dude. I just said okay. I'm Cuban.
Dude, you are one of the most easily offended people I've ever talked to.
I just didn't. I just didn't like that question. I think that was very.
Why don't
offensive.
You like that question?
That's just a silly question to ask someone in the year 2023.
Why? There's lots of white nationalists in 2023.
And those people are absolutely disgusting.
Great. I agree.
But so you supported the BLM protests, which I'm kind
big
of
fan of Colin Kaepernick. Big fan of BLM. Big fan of all that.
Colin Kaepernick just completely destroyed his career. That's why no one even.
Yeah, because a bunch of people were racist and they didn't want to hear what he had to say, and they misconstrued literally everything that he did, because it was a black man standing up for black people, and that really ruffles the feathers of a lot of people. So he did destroy his career because of that, but it wasn't because of like he said something wrong. It's because of the fragility of white people when like a black man just stands up and says like, hey, there's still some shit going on in this country that we need to address.
So you supported BLM. They went to the protests and all that. Where were the protests when 5 black cops beat the shit and killed another black man in Memphis?
I don't know. Were there protests?
Nope.
So if people protest for one thing, they now have to protest for all things, or else it doesn't count. I'm just asking. I asked you a question. I asked you a question. Let's ask you another question. Remember?
No.
So what question did I ask then?
If one people want to protest for one thing, do they have to protest for a contradicting thing? I said no.
Sounds like there were a lot of protests. Now I'm seeing that there were protests.
What I'm saying is BLM is police brutality. We all know that. How come there was no riot or protest when 5 black cops killed one black man, black man?
Actually, they're saying that there were protests. That people from Memphis said that there were protests. I've got people in my Discord from Memphis saying.
Who?
People in my Discord. Do you want me to find a link to it? Somebody in Discord, can you give me
absolutely no
somebody
protest.
No, I don't want a link.
There was actually no protest. There was nothing on the news. It was a one-piece hit on CNN for 1 hour.
I've got NPR here.
Where's the anger from BLM from that? Where is the anger against police brutality against that?
I've got right here from NPR. Let's pull this up. Oh shoot, that's not copying. Let's open this in a different page.
So there was no protest, no burning buildings.
Well, they're all saying that there were protests, and now I'm getting okay. Yeah, is this is it Tyree Nichols? Is that the name?
Yes, sir.
Okay, yeah. Protests were held across the United States after release of the footage. Numerous, mostly peaceful protests were held across the United States following Friday's release of body cam footage of the unaliving of Tyree Nichols. All
But
five
where's
officers.
the anger? I didn't
Wait,
see
hold
any
on. I
anger
wasn't
from
done yet.
anyone.
In Memphis, a group of demonstrators gathered at a downtown park and then took to the streets, shutting down the I-55 bridge over the Mississippi River between Memphis and West Memphis. They chanted, "No justice, no peace," and "Justice for Tyree," closing the bridge for nearly 3 hours before peacefully disbanding. Dunk. Dunk. Sorry, brother. Your outrage was fake again.
There was no outrage.
In other parts of Memphis, people
There was
gathered
no
in churches or
burning
small groups
buildings.
to reflect on the wrenching and somber moment for the city. Officials shut down Grand Central Station in anticipation of protests in New York City, where demonstrators had gathered in Times Square. A protest march in Boston halted traffic. A protest in downtown Los Angeles became tense when a group of protesters gathered outside of the LAPD headquarters,
was held
which
up in
was blocked
LA.
by police in riot gear. Other small but peaceful protests were also held in Washington, D.C., Seattle, Detroit, Atlanta. Whoopsies.
So there
How'd
was
that one go for you there, Chief?
So
How'd
there
that
was,
one go for you there, Chief?
I'm gonna.
How'd that one go for you there, Chief?
Or are you gonna?
No, I just want you to. I need you to admit that. Turns out there were protests. You said there were none. I just named at least 8 of them.
So there was a little bit of traffic and no burning buildings.
Oh, it's only a protest if you burn a building?
Sure it is.
Oh, okay. You're stupid, dude. Are you a troll for real? Like, do you have any real thoughts, or are you just a troll?
Well, here's my real and final thought.
I asked you a question. Or do you have real thoughts, or are you just a troll?
No, I'm
Okay, well then I need you, before you get to your final thought, to admit that you were wrong about this.
I'm sorry that there was
Was a what?
I'm sorry I was misinformed by the fake news who said there was no riots. I'm
Yeah.
sorry I was
Thank
misinformed.
you. I accept your apology.
But at the end of the day, I think Biden is in hot water. I think he's completely botched.
He's just taking a bath, man. He likes a hot bath.
I think just Biden's completely botched.
Come on, man.
What is
Come
that?
on. You can do it. You can do it. You can get this out. I have faith in you.
No, someone was calling me and then I had to go back out.
All right.
No, I think Biden has completely botched foreign affairs with Afghanistan pullout. I think he's already botched this Israeli thing.
Sure.
He's completely botched it.
Sure.
He's already botched the border, which is a complete mess.
Sure.
And people don't like that. People don't like when 12
You're
Marines got killed. They don't
Sure.
like when they're going to find out it's not only going to be 27 dead Americans, it's probably going to be up in the 100 dead Americans. And he still hasn't said or done anything. After every attack.
What do you mean? Wait, hold on. He has said things and done things. So when you say
we
he's
stand
said,
with his-
that's it. Well, hold on.
first off-
hold on. Shut up for a second.
Well, I didn't even finish my
Hold
thought.
on. Shush. No, because I gave you so much time. You rattled off like 10 points. But you just said he hasn't said or done anything. Well, let's agree that let's agree that he has said things. Correct?
We stand with Israel.
Okay. And then what did he do? What did he do? What did he do about the aid?
He won't call out Iran.
What did he do about the aid? You reversed it, right?
Reversed what?
He reversed the access to the $6 billion.
No, he didn't do it.
He didn't?
No.
Who did?
Read the Washington Post. He didn't
Who
do
did it?
He didn't block it. The United States did not block it.
Who did?
Qatar blocked it.
Biden reversed the decision. Let's see.
No, he did not.
Well, I'm gonna pull this
It
up.
was just another lie, and he should have blocked. He shouldn't even get the $6 billion.
You've literally been wrong about everything today. So if you don't mind, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna look this up.
He didn't block it.
Okay.
They shouldn't even have $6 billion.
All right, I'll give you the last
first
word.
place.
Go ahead.
But I'm just saying he's complete. Do you know?
Of course, I'm not gonna give you the last word. Get the fuck out of here. Of course not. Let's see. Olivia, real quick. I think Olivia wanted to correct a couple things. Hi, Olivia.
Hi.
Hey.
How's it going?
Wonderful. How are you?
Great.
I just got back on Discord and I went to join yours, and the link in your link tree isn't working.
Yeah, it doesn't work. Shoot me a DM. I'll send it to you. Or
Okay. Or
one of my mods can send it to you. Infectious, Bree,
Yeah.
Whisper, one of them can send it to you.
All right,
Jen.
great. That's all I came up here for. You're doing
Oh,
great.
okay. All right, cool.
Oh,
Thank
real
you.
quick,
Oh,
actually.
yeah.
Those cops that he was talking about were also arrested, unlike white cops. So,
Correct.
yeah, just a quick little thing. Okay, have a
Thank
lovely
you.
day.
Appreciate it. By the way, the link in my link tree is broken. It's because every time we create a new invite link, that one dies. So it's in there, but you'll just have to send me or Infectious, or I guess Jen or Korean Leftist or Bree. Any one of us can send you an invite. All right, next up was I'm taking just opposition right now. So if you're not off opposition, if you could drop down for a sec. If I get stuck, I'll definitely bring somebody up. I'll give you just like a minute. I'll give you a minute and a half. To join Discord, just shoot one of us a message, and we'll send you a link for it. If you don't know how to join it, you're just gonna need like a picture of your TikTok profile, a screenshot of it, so that we can verify that you're not just a troll, that you're a real person, and then we'll let you in. It's free, doesn't cost anything. It's wonderful. There's Korean Leftist saying we're here right above you. Big country. No big country. Fee's still around every once in a while. She's got a lot of stuff going on, so she steps in every once in a while. She's just doing something different now.
Yo,
Jet,
what up?
welcome.
I have a question.
Yes.
So, what are your thoughts on immigration?
How old are you, by the way?
Wait, no. What are your thoughts on immigration?
Wait, how old are you? How old are you? How old are you?
I'm 18.
When's your birthday?
2005.
2004. When you don't know your birthday?
Yeah, May 20th, 2005.
Okay. You sound young, dude.
It's a defect. Swear.
No.
All right. Well, what are your thoughts on immigration?
Your account says it's managed by an adult, dude. I looked at your profile. It literally says it's managed by an adult. Shoot. What'd I do? Man, my mic. Hold on. Zabs. My mic is so screwy today. Is that better? Can you guys hear me okay? Sorry about that. Good try, kid. I appreciate actually that you want to be involved. I don't even want to be a dick. Again, just opposition only in the box, please. Who have I not talked to? I don't know if I've talked to Diamond the Kid before. It's a bold move by me to go to somebody that says kid, but that doesn't look like a kid to me. Mine should be managed by an adult. There's a lot of us that probably could use an adult managing our accounts. I think that's fair. Do I know about the Iran nuclear deal, little country girl? I wouldn't be an expert on it, but yeah, a little bit. No go for kid. Red. Let's go Andy Pants. Hey, Andy.
Hey there.
And hi, Pants.
So, question for you.
Sure.
So, I'm typically a moderate conservative, okay?
Okay.
But I will say I have very mixed feelings on the Israeli situation.
Okay.
The Jewish people definitely needed a place to go after World War II. The idea to put a state of Israel where they did was the worst idea on earth, for so many reasons. But what do you think? First of all, the last guy is wrong. Biden, I'm not the biggest fan, but he's responded.
Right.
And I would not be in favor of a further response. We don't need to get any more involved than we already have. I personally believe that. But what do you think the solution is here?
Fuck. Yeah, I honestly, I'm not the person who's best educated on this. I've spent the last like 3 or 4 days reaching out to people who I know have a better understanding of this than I do, and so I feel like I still have like a pretty, I'm pretty open-minded on what I know. and I'm open-minded that I might be wrong. The only thing I really know is that like Hamas has got to go, and I don't know how we do that. I do. One of my moderators has like been studying this for 20 years. I could bring him up. He could probably he's kind of my go-to anyways when I'm trying to get at least like a balanced view. He's annoyingly on the fence about everything, so you might really like him. He's much more like centrist than I am, but I don't know. I know Hamas is a problem. I know that regularly we speak past Hamas and make it Israel-Palestine and forget the fact that it's like Hamas is causing the problems.
Okay, so back to your last topic on the border. My view is when a state's priority is sovereignty, no matter what state, and really this applies to Palestine, right? The number one thing in statehood is borders. So
what do you mean by the number one thing in statehood? What does that mean?
If you don't have sovereignty over your borders, you don't have a real state.
Why not?
Well, what's the job of the federal government? I mean,
the federal government has a lot of jobs. Maybe just tell me instead of asking, because that would take a long. I'd probably guess wrong.
Okay.
Just give me your view on that.
My view of why I say I'm a conservative and not a Republican is because I don't agree with the Republicans on a lot of things. But what I do feel as a conservative is this country was founded on the power of states, not the federal government. But the federal government is there to protect us from foreign adversaries. How do you do that while not protecting a border?
I think that when you're talking about like 1776, like protecting your border, having like physical border, and you're worried about ground troops invading, it's totally different than it is now. Like we're not talking about ground troops invading from the north or the south for us, right? We're talking about people who are coming here immigrating, and from the beginning of our country, like we basically had open immigration, right? You showed up on a boat, we tried our best to figure out where people came from. Some people didn't have papers, but ultimately you were here and we made it work. So I just don't think that I don't think that saying we don't have strong, but we clearly have strong borders. I don't know who could possibly invade our borders. There is nobody that could come to our border that could invade our country without us like immediately fucking them up. Like we have, with a push of a button, we could destroy basically any enemy force who is coming to either one of our borders. So the fact that we don't have like a strong border wall or maybe a defined border that you can see from the sky, I don't think it's really that relevant. I think that if another country or another force was trying to invade us, we're good. Oh, we lost him. I think it's kind of like, well, while we get back to him, I think that's kind of like the Fox News thing, right? It's these scare tactics of like, here's what's happening in the Middle East, and because of that, we have to have a stronger border. Well, our border is incredibly strong. We lost him. The amount of protection we have for our country, just through our nuclear capabilities, for our detection, our aerial capabilities, at any point, if somebody tried to invade, we're good. So we lost him there. We will go. All right, Discord. This one's up to you. We got Feva and we got Red Crown. Discord, take your pick. This is a cool thing about Discord. You can do that. I wish you would shrink the panelists so I can see the comments. Okay, I can do that. Let me fix the. Thank you. Try to remember how I do that. I think it's like that. Is it like that? Yeah, I think it's like that. Don't let Feva in. I guess it's his crown. Crown with the win. Sorry, Feva. You've trolled too many people. Red Crown. Feva, they're saying you can come back. Oh, Feva's in the Discord? For real? Sorry about that. All right, well, Red Crown's not loading, so I guess we got Feva. Feva, welcome.
Hello, my friend.
Hello.
Nice to meet you again, my friend.
Thank you.
No,
I didn't know you were in my Discord.
No, I'm not. That's one of my cousins.
You're such an idiot. You're so stupid.
I'm not idiot. That's kind
You're a
of
little
offensive.
bit. You're a little bit of an idiot. Did you not get fired yesterday for laughing on the job?
No, that was also my cousin.
That was also your cousin. Got it. Yeah. Where are you? How long did it take you to perfect this fake accent?
Fake meaning what, my friend?
Meaning, it's not your real accent.
So
Meaning
you're
like
saying
when I make you laugh, the accent goes away.
no. So you're saying that I'm fake person now?
Well, you're a real person, but you're pretending to be somebody else.
No, I don't think you're getting it, my friend. Like I'm a real person. I live like you, my friend. I live in US. You might
Sure.
think I live somewhere else,
Sure.
but yes.
Sure. What would
So
you like to
yes.
discuss today?
Well, so you're pro Israel or
Uh,
something?
Wait, what? How did you get that?
Well, like you're saying get rid of Hamas.
Yeah, no, that doesn't make me pro-Israel. That makes me fuck Hamas. That's my stance. My stance
No,
is fuck Hamas.
no,
That's my
Hamas.
only stance.
No, Hamas is the only resistance
No,
for the
no.
oppression.
Wait. My only stance, and I'll say this once again, is fuck Hamas. That's my only stance.
What the hell did Hamas do to you?
So far they haven't done anything to me.
Exactly, my friend. They
Doesn't
didn't do
matter.
shit.
Still fuck them.
No, they're good people.
You
They
like?
help
Oh,
the,
Jesus Christ! You're that
they
guy?
help they help the
Oh my God.
Palestinians.
Okay, so now I know you're a troll. Like now we just know that you're a troll.
No, because my friend, you're not getting it.
You
Actually,
no,
they
so
help.
yeah, you're a big fan of terrorists. That's what you like. You're just like a
No,
big fan of
look, you're
terrorists.
labeling. No, that's labeling. Your propaganda is
I'm
labeling
asking
them.
you a question. I'm asking you a question.
No, because no, I'm not fan of
Ah, dude,
terrorists.
this is crazy. You're actually pro Hamas.
No,
That's
I'm
crazy.
not fan of terrorists, but I'm fan of resistance, my friend.
Fuck Hamas. That's my only stance.
Well,
You
well,
can be
if
pro resistance. You can acknowledge what Israel has done. You can acknowledge all of the things in the world, but you still, if you are justifying the actions of Hamas, then I don't know what you're saying. I don't
well,
know. I don't even know how you can come to that conclusion.
so can you justify everything Israel has done to the
No, I
Palestinian
cannot.
people?
And again, my only stance is fuck Hamas. That's my only stance.
So like you're like not in for discussion for it because fuck the
I don't know.
motherfuckers.
I don't know enough to have like an educated discussion on this. What I do know is I do know about a little bit about Hamas, and everything about Hamas leads me to believe fuck Hamas.
You know they're just giving you propaganda, like the babies
Yeah,
is propaganda,
sure.
and it's
Yeah,
fake. I can show you it's fake.
Again, fuck Hamas.
Oh my goodness.
From now until eternity, fuck Hamas.
Can you give me one reason? One reason, my friend.
Yeah, I could. Yeah, I could. I don't know if you've seen what they've been doing, but fuck Hamas.
Oh my goodness, my friend, that's not the reason. Fuck Hamas.
No,
They have
that
to
is
say,
no,
fuck
that
you.
is my
You're
reason.
leftist.
That no,
You're
that is
leftist.
my wait. That's my reason.
Okay, then fuck you, motherfucker.
All right.
You're leftist.
Yeah, I
see
am.
that, right? So
I
can
am
say
a
fuck you.
I am a leftist. You're damn right. But you know what I don't do? What Hamas does. I'm pro peace, you know? I like to treat people I think it would be cool if we treated people with respect. I think it would be cool if we didn't go to war. I think it would be cool if we stopped being so hateful. I think it would be cool if we didn't take money from Iran. I think that would be cool. I think it would be cool if we didn't get our direction from Iran. All of these things would be cool. I am a leftist, but could you point to something that I did that's horrible? No. Could you point to something that
Yes,
Hamas did that's
you-
horrible? Yes, over and
Yes.
over and over and over again.
I can.
What's that?
I can tell you what you
Oh.
did wrong. I can tell you what you did wrong.
Your Wi-Fi is getting a little glitchy there, Chief. What's going on?
Can you not hear me?
No, I didn't hear what you said.
You don't hear me?
I can now.
Hello, man. Okay, so like I can tell you, you leftists do it wrong. You let a bunch of aliens come into the country, like you're not protecting the border.
You're talking about
You let people are
no,
rushing in.
you're talking about the movie Independence Day. That's a movie, dude. That's just a movie. And they
No, I'm
invaded
talking
from
about-
they invaded
no,
from the sky. They invaded from the sky. But then remember when they shot down that one, and then Will Smith like opened it up, and he's like, boom, welcome to Earth. I bet Chris Rock is happy that he didn't get that punch. Instead, he just got a slap instead of the punch in the head, welcome to Earth. We didn't let those aliens in, but that was a movie anyways. I hate to break it to you.
No, this is not. This is real life.
Bill Paxton is not our. Or is it Bill Paxton or Pullman, whichever it is? He's not actually our president.
No, what you're talking about the movie, my friend.
Yeah, that's what you're talking about. You're talking about the invasion from the aliens?
No, I'm talking.
Yeah, they came. It was Bill Paxton. Is it Bill Pullman or Bill Paxton? Who is it? So, but they're the same person. It's Pullman. Bill Pullman. I apologize. We will not go quietly into the night. Yeah, remember that? That was all just that was not based on a true story. I think that's where you're getting mixed up here.
See, they're saying Bill Pullman, but they know that's a movie, my friend.
I know, that's what I'm saying. The aliens that invaded, that was fake. That was just a movie.
No, I'm talking about alien invasion at the border. They're coming in.
Well, no, it was near it was near the border, but they also invaded big. If you remember, they parked over these big cities too, like L.A., New York, Chicago. It wasn't just from the border; they came from the sky.
No, they come in trucks.
No, those were spaceships, dude.
No, they come. I have video. They come in trucks.
I do too. No, I do. And they were spaceships. And remember when that crop duster was like, I figured out how to do it, and he ran out of missiles, and he's like, tell my kids I love them, and he went right up in that middle thing, and that's how we got rid of them. Do you remember that?
No, they can't fly. They can't fly. These motherfuckers. They're humans. They can't
no,
fly.
They could. No, they weren't human. No. We're talking about aliens. Remember?
No, I am talking about alien.
I know, so am I, and I'm saying that time, that's how we got rid of them. We flew up that middle thing. I forgot what it was called, but that's what. Remember that? And he was like, "Hey boys, I'm back!" And remember that?
What the hell? Do they have jetpacks now? No, they can't fly.
No, he was in an airplane.
No,
yeah, he was in an airplane. Because he was trying to shoot a missile, but it jammed, and he was like, "Tell my kids I love them," and because he knew he was about to be a hero.
No, they're coming in trucks, like big trucks.
No. Those weren't trucks. Those were spaceships.
No, dude, you not see the video.
I saw the video. I have it on Blu-ray. It looks better on Blu-ray.
No, there's no. No, you're talking about movie. No movie. I'm not talking about movie. I talk about nose.
About what?
The nose. The noise.
The noise.
Noise. Noise, my friend.
Noise. Noise.
News.
News. Oh, the news. Oh no, the news that was on. Yeah, yes, I see where the confusion. You're talking about the news. Okay, yeah. Mm-hmm. So those were fake. Yes, yeah, those were fake. Those were actually fake news broadcasts too in the movie. That wasn't a real news broadcast. It was just that was fake. It was just like they were acting.
No, you're talking about movies still, my friend. I'm talking about the real life.
Well, no, those were the people on the news weren't really stars. They were. I mean, I hadn't heard of any of them. I couldn't tell you any of their names. But that's just the character they were playing in Independence Day.
Like, are you bot? Are you bot?
Am I bot? No, I'm Jay.
Yes, are you?
No, Jay.
No, you're bot.
Bot is not a name. My name is Jay.
No, you're a bot.
No, Jay.
I'm talking about. No, I'm not talking about your name. I'm talking about a description.
Oh
my goodness.
You meant beautiful. Oh, hot. No, you're saying hot. Oh, you're saying hot. Am I hot? I don't know.
No.
Depends on the day. I got my Smokey the Bear hat today. I think I look all right. Are you?
No, you're not.
Are you hot?
I mean, I could be.
Could be. I'm glad we had this conversation. This was really good. I got to get to somebody else though, but I really enjoyed it. And maybe next time, maybe we do Transformers next time. We could talk Transformers instead of Independence Day. If we're gonna stay on the alien invasion theme, we could do Transformers.
No, I talk about real people. I talk about. Oh my goodness!
I love you very much, and I hope you have a terrific day. And I can't wait for our next movie review. It's going to be terrific. Thanks for swinging by. That's the great thing about my lives. Sometimes you're talking politics, and Boom, you're right into a movie review. Just right into it. Big Country, welcome. What in the shit? What's up, Big Country? Hello. What is happening in Discord? What is that by Late Night Lee? What is that thing? Oh, it's an alien. Big Country, how you doing? Are you there? Big Country.
Yeah, no, it's not.
You not hear me? What is happening in Discord right now? Listen, you can't out troll a really good troll. I'm a good troll. I don't know what was going on there. The box is empty now. Mark, I see you. I'm just taking opposition right now, but I appreciate it. I saw you go live the other night, by the way. I stopped by for a second. It's good to see you hosting your own lives there. Troll complete. Returning to HQ. Okay, yeah, if you want the Discord invite, message one of the mods, or you can message me, but I won't get back to you until after. Leave for 15 minutes, utter chaos. Let's head over. Look, if there's people that want to talk about what's happening with Israel and Palestine, I'm not going to engage past anything that I'm sure on. I'm pretty careful about that. So if we're going to topics that are past something where I feel confident on, or where I feel confident that I know the points of it, I'm not going to debate it. I'm happy to, if somebody has something to correct or somebody wants to add something, I'm happy to do that. But let's see what Whisper's saying. Movie reviews with Feva. It's a new segment for sure. All right, let me change this real quick. Where is it? We'll go back to. This one kind of cut off, but there we go. If you love living paycheck to paycheck while billionaires hoard money, vote Republican. I gotta fix that one so it's not cut off. I forgot all about that. Let's go over to Fox News, see what they're saying. Hamas has to go. I like that. Miss Julie was in Big Steve's live this morning. Miss Julie's cheating on me. How dare you? How dare you, Miss Julie? Everybody go check out the Miss Julie videos when you have a second. Looks like Nikki Haley is new polling. She's in second place now. Look, if you Republicans had a brain at all, you would go get Nikki Haley. I don't really want you to do it. I would love to see you run Trump, because I don't really want to see a Republican as commander in chief. But if you guys had any sense at all, you would go and support Nikki Haley. I would not be surprised if we see a coalition forming soon. Mitt Romney had his annual summit in Park City a couple of days ago. Virtually everybody running for president that wasn't Ron DeSantis or Donald Trump or Vivek all showed up. Anybody who's willing to work together showed up. I would imagine, based on what Romney did in 2016, that he is going to be advocating that people coalesce, that they pick one candidate, and that they run against Donald Trump. That's my guess. But you guys won't do that, because you can't admit that Donald Trump duped you and that he's a loser. So you're just going to keep fighting that losing fight, which is great for us. A losing fight is terrific for us. The more people you can have endorsed by Trump, the more people you put up at the top of the party that love Trump, the better it is for all of us. Can you imagine if Joe Biden was running against somebody that wasn't an idiot right now? It'd be a real problem. There's a lot of things that are happening right now, and politically, it's going to be a lot to overcome. The fact that this election the polls are even close right now shows just how much Joe Biden's dealing with, and he's still he should be being blown out right now, but he's running against Trump, so it's a nice deal. Guest box still open? What is going on today? It is a slow one. So Nikki Haley, 2-term South Carolina governor and ambassador to the United Nations, has been on a rise in the race for the Republican nomination. In a new, whose poll is this? In a new Fox poll with the plus minus at 4.5 percentage points, Nikki Haley went from 5% to 10%. Oh, she's not in second on the Fox News one. She's in third. Right behind DeSantis at 13%. Vivek still at 7%. So let's see. If you got rid of Pence, Christie, Tim Scott, that's another 8%. She'd be at 18%. So I don't know. Still no. Donald Trump is still sliding a little bit. He's down into the 50s now for his percentage. That's good to see for if you have hope that the Republican Party is not just a nightmare. But if you want them to continue to be a nightmare, that's not a good sign. It's a shorty on the end. I don't know what that means. All right. Is this what it's going to be today? You're just gonna hear me talk today? How boring is that going to be for you guys? Speaker race, Jim Jordan. This is crazy. I cannot believe Jim Jordan's name is involved in the speaker race. How do you do that? How do you, little country girl, welcome. I don't understand how people can coalesce around Jim Jordan. What a scumbag. Little country girl, welcome.
Hey, I just want to give my experience, about my taxes. So every year, my husband and I, when we did our taxes, we were never able to get the earned income credit because they said we made too much money for it. So we were not able to get the money for our children. But Trump actually raised the amount for an individual from $75,000 to $200,000. That was the cutoff limit. And then for couples, it was $100,000 to $400,000. So because he raised those limits, we were able to get earned income credit. Also, he doubled the amount from $1,000 per kid to $2,000.
Okay.
And I didn't even know this. I knew that we got it back for some reason, starting in 2017, but I didn't know why. So I wanted to know what.
So you must be pretty excited now that Biden raised it from $2,000 to $3,000 for the child tax credit, right?
Well, so hold.
You must be really excited about that.
So I wanted to know.
Are you excited about? I'm asking a question. Are you excited that Biden raised it to $3,000?
Well, my kids are older, but yeah, that's great.
Cool.
But yeah, so that's just my experience. And I didn't even know he did that until I went to New York Times, until I read an article in New York Times that said Trump's accomplishments verified. And it was in several different news organizations where they verified his claims of his accomplishments.
Yeah.
So,
did you know that Joe Biden expanded the earned income credit and he's trying to make it permanent?
Like I say, my kids are over the limit, but that's
no
great.
earned income tax credit.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you're excited about this. It sounds like Joe Biden's doing a better job than Trump. That's awesome. Thank you for bringing that up.
Yes, sir. No problem.
Yeah. Anything else?
So I was watching a video where Kennedy was actually interviewing Janet Yellen. And he said that Biden's budget for next year is $500 billion more than this year. And that it would raise the taxes by $4.7 trillion.
Good.
And that came straight from her mouth.
Yeah, that's good.
Is it?
Of course it's good. Why would that not be good? We need more money to pay for what we're doing. Yeah.
But wouldn't that hurt people that feel like they're already paying too many taxes?
Well, how are we going to pay for things?
Well, I feel like the budget, a lot of things, I think they call them earmarks or something, need to be cut out. I mean, like stupid stuff.
But Biden's budget wouldn't have. You're talking about like pork spending.
Yeah.
Yeah, Biden's budget wouldn't have pork spending. The pork spending is added when it goes through Congress and the Senate.
But I'm talking about in general.
So what Biden is presenting is like what he would like the budget to be, right?
Okay.
He doesn't control that. But the presidents usually put out what they think their budget should be. Then it goes through Congress and it goes through the Senate, and that's when all of the pork spending is added. And by the way, Republicans do that. Republicans will take this and they will fill it. They will fill it with pork spending.
Yeah, of course, both sides do that.
Yeah.
Okay, and the reason why I asked you about
did you look at his budget? Did you look at his budget at all to see like what we're spending money on?
I looked at one about 6 months ago, and that's where I saw all the crazy things about, like, we were paying millions of dollars to test what a monkey would do.
Yeah, that would all be pork spending. That would be all pork spending that was added by Congress and the Senate.
Yeah, but of course I saw the infrastructure where, money to build roads and all that.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah,
2.8 billion in direct support for the cancer moonshot, which is just basically like heavy funding into cancer research.
Mm-hmm.
Life science and biomedical research, $48.6 billion investment in the NIH, 7.8 in the National Cancer Institute, 2.5 with the NIH to address mental health, $2.5 billion to address mental health.
Mm-hmm.
16.5 billion to support climate science and clean energy innovation, meaning more jobs. We're talking about energy innovation.
Okay.
One of the things that Obama was heavily criticized for is when he was giving out government subsidies to solar companies. And now we're seeing the dividends paid on that. And by the way, Republicans love that. I lived in a red state. At the time I lived in Utah, most of the biggest solar companies, their sales teams are entirely based out of Utah. So we're going to see more innovation in green energy, which would make us be a world leader. You have tech innovation, $300 million for NSF's Regional Innovation Engines program. So that brings together like the state and local governments and the institutions of education so that they can work together. So the programs aren't so individual, but so that you can, as programs create their curriculums together, it quickens innovation, right?
Yeah. And like I say, Trump and Biden both have those good things in their budgets. I mean, that's no question that they both have that. And to be honest, I don't think Trump or Biden should get credit for that, because it's probably, someone else doing those good things and they sign off on them. But yeah, so I'm aware of that now.
Yeah, it sounds like all the things that you care about, Biden's doing a better job than Trump. So are you moving in that direction? Are you looking more at Biden for 2024 than Trump?
I don't like some of the things that's going on with the Democrats. I mean, I don't.
Like what?
I don't think we should be giving as much money to Ukraine, and I don't like the border situation.
Why don't you think we should be giving money to Ukraine?
I just think that I've seen where two people have done audits. I think one guy's name was Seymour Hurst, and I forget the other people. They actually did audits on the money that we sent over there, and it was something like 30% was only made it to the front lines. I've seen videos of Ukrainian soldiers who were out freezing, and they were literally cussing out. I mean, they were talking.
Wait, but you don't want us to fund any of that, so none of that stuff's relevant at all, right?
I think we should, but I don't see where they're going to be able to win this war.
Okay, well, Trump doesn't think we should send that aid. Well, he says we shouldn't send that aid. So it sounds like you're in opposition to Trump. What Biden has said is Biden said we should audit it. And in fact, we've had audits. Now, some of that money it looks like wasn't spent in the best way. But again, this sounds like you're on the side of Biden, not Trump, because you support funding Ukraine and you support having that money be audited. This sounds like, again, you're on Biden's side.
Well, at this point, I don't think we have much of a choice. We're already.
Yeah, it sounds like your only choice is Biden.
I mean, the money, if we stop sending money now, then the money and time and lives are wasted. I feel like, the peace should come. What's his name? RFK and a diplomat from Turkey, and of course Putin actually said that in April, Ukraine and Russia signed a peace treaty, and that part of that was for Putin to pull out of Kyiv, and he did that, but then, you know, supposedly, you know, I don't know if it's true. Nobody knows if it's true. They sent Boris Johnson over there to back out the deal. I mean, that's what RFK said, and
Well, my question, I would just ask you this question, like,
Uh-huh.
is Putin still, like, are Russian forces still in Ukraine?
yeah,
Yeah. Should they be in Ukraine?
no,
Okay, so until he gets the fuck out of Ukraine, I don't think we should be giving Putin any credit for anything. I don't think we should give whatever Boris Johnson did, he should not
Yeah.
get credit. Until he stops invading other countries, I don't think he gets any credit. Right? But
Yeah,
again,
I just have a
RFK
different
seems
view on that.
RFK seems to want to like be a little bit pro Putin.
Yeah.
The Republicans seem to be pro Putin. Again, everything you're saying to me aligns with Joe Biden. I don't
Yeah.
understand how you're still like a conservative. Everything you're
Yeah.
saying is basically like Joe Biden's principles, Joe Biden's thoughts. So why do you think it is that you like? Is it just cognitive dissonance? Like you're just not willing to admit that you were wrong about Trump?
No, my biggest reason is the border. I wish what would be a solution
Why is the border your biggest issue? Like
you
what
know,
what
I
issues
think
is
a
it causing for
solution
you?
would be to fix up the countries
No.
that
What
they're
issues?
leaving.
What issues is it causing you? What issues are the border causing for you? Like
Well,
how's it affecting you?
there's several. If you will watch, and of course, I know you can't believe every video you see that comes on TikTok. You know, I mean, I'm not that naive. But when you look at people who are down on the border or who are in the Darien Gap, and they're counting all the boats and the number of people that are coming by, and it's not the people who are coming. I feel like we would be naive to think that countries that hate us are not taking advantage of this immigration policy.
Okay,
and
so it
taking
sounds to me like what you're saying is that you're afraid that something is going to happen. But I'm asking specifically how this has affected you, and you can't give me
Well,
specifics.
like-
But
well,
so am I right
okay.
in saying? So am I right in saying that it's not necessarily that it's affected you yet, but you're afraid
Not
it's
yet.
going to?
Not yet. I believe it's going
Okay.
to. Number
Now-
one,
No,
the
wait,
amount
wait,
of
wait.
people who are
Little country
coming.
girl. I let you go for a while, so I need to go
Sure.
for a second. Okay. So, do you understand how propaganda works?
Yes, of course.
Okay. And what's propaganda meant to do?
Is to fool people and have them thinking the wrong thing.
Not necessarily
Um,
the wrong thing, right? Propaganda can be right, but it's to emotionally get you to agree on something, or to convince you that something is going to happen or is
Mhm.
happening that maybe necessarily isn't. Now,
Okay.
if you're the Republican Party,
Mhm.
and I asked you this yesterday, and I've asked you before
Yeah.
what they stand for, what they're pushing. Nobody can seem to tell me. So if
Mhm.
you were a party that has no solutions to anything and you wanted to regain power, you're
Mhm.
kind of left with two options: either come up with a plan
Mhm.
or convince everybody else that the party in charge is a problem. And if you're going to do that, then you're going to have a propaganda campaign. You're going to make everything about something people should fear, which is why
Mhm.
I don't know if you were here at the beginning, but I read off about 7 different tweets and 3 videos from prominent Republicans who were
Mhm.
all talking about Israel Palestine, and they used every instance they possibly could with Israel and Palestine to talk about our southern border. Those aren't related at all.
Yeah,
But that's the
agree.
point. They
I
take
do hear
something.
that.
They take something that you see
Uh-huh.
that gives you a lot of, like, any of us that are seeing the images out of Israel and Palestine. It's gut wrenching, right?
Yes.
If you put ourselves in that position, it's scary, right? We're like, God damn, like that's bad. And what Republicans are doing is they're saying, look at this imagery. Here's all this imagery to scare you. Look how
Mhm.
awful this is. And then they say that will be us if we don't fix the southern border.
Mhm.
Well, there's no evidence of that. There's no evidence whatsoever that we would become like Israel and Palestine if we don't close the southern border. Nobody can articulate that at all. But what they do is
But
they scare
would be
you into
naive.
thinking that and
Okay.
tell you that the Democrats are the opposite of that and that they want this to happen, and it forces you to vote Republican without
Mhm.
knowing what a single without being able to tell me a single solitary
Mhm.
thing that Republicans are going to do. They have no plan.
Mhm.
They are literally just a fear and propaganda machine at this point.
Well, I'm not listening to them. It's on what I see and the nature of people and countries. I mean, you can't. I mean, you cannot be so
You don't know
naive.
the nature of people and countries that you haven't been to. You don't know their
You
nature. Again, you're taking what you say that you're not listening to them,
people that hate
and maybe you think you aren't, but you are, because you're literally just talking about things you've seen on TikTok. You're
No.
literally explaining propaganda and then
Yeah.
telling me why you believe the propaganda.
Then don't you think this was Obama's plan? And I know you're going to say Obama didn't change it for that reason.
Obama.
That's
What do you
probably
think?
I feel like
What
you're
do you
gonna
think was
say.
Obama? What do you think was Obama's plan?
Going on what's happening here, he actually said it in a speech that if you put enough trash out there, if you put enough garbage out there, people would question their government officials. They would question the media, and
He's talking about
eventually,
you.
yeah, I know.
Yeah, he's talking about exactly how you exactly. No, wait. This is you. He's talking about you. He was talking about how propaganda works and operates, and you're on here showing exactly. He wasn't saying let's do this. He was warning us of what
Then
would
why
happen.
change the law?
And you are an example of what happened. What law did he change? We covered this once before, I'm pretty sure. But what do you remember what the law was called?
The 2000, I think it was 2012. I think it's Smith-Mont, or I can't remember the exact thing, but I know you've heard it. You know exactly what I'm talking about. But people say, "Oh no, it was used for it wasn't used for America. It was from abroad." But it's benefiting. It's benefiting. It's
No,
working
this is
here.
this
Propaganda's
is
working
just
here.
like no, this is just like Facebook bullshit on the Smith-Mont. Like you read something on Facebook and it convinced you that that's what happened. All it really did, I can pull up the actual act. Let me pull it up real quick. And that's right. We have talked about this before.
Yeah. I mean, I
The
haven't.
Congress hereby declares that the objectives of the Act are to enable the government of the United States to promote a better understanding of the United States in other countries and to increase mutual understanding between the people of the United States and the people of other countries. Among the means to be used in achieving these objectives are, number one, an information service to disseminate abroad information about the United States, its people, and policies promulgated by Congress, the President, the Secretary of State, and other responsible officials of government having to do with matters affecting foreign affairs. Two, an educational exchange service to cooperate with other nations in the exchange of knowledge and skills, the rendering of technical and other services, and the interchange of developments in the field of education, the arts, and the sciences. What part of that says it made propaganda legal?
They'll say it has. I mean, it's snuck in there somewhere.
It's not snuck in there. Jesus Christ. Like, why do you do this? What are you talking about? You think President Obama had this plan and he put it out publicly. He put out this public plan that he was going to make propaganda legal, which, by the way, have you heard of the First Amendment?
Yeah.
Propaganda's fucking legal. It's always been legal here. Propaganda is legal. It's always been legal. You wouldn't
But
need
most people assume that the
you
news
wouldn't
is
need
gonna
any
tell
sort
the
of
truth.
legislation. And by the way, do you know why it's called the Smith-Mont Act?
I'm sure because one of them sued the other.
No, because those are the people. No, because those are the people who wrote it.
Okay. Well, I will definitely look into that and won't say it again
but you
until I
understand
know.
but you understand propaganda is legal and will
Exactly.
always be here, right?
Exactly.
Okay, so why do you keep gobbling it up?
Well, as far as the border,
Oh my God, Jesus Christ! You have to learn. You have to answer questions that I say. You have to answer questions, little country girl. You have to answer questions that I ask. You can't just hear what I say and move on to the next topic. It's crazy. Why? What are you doing to protect yourself against being influenced by propaganda?
I guess I'm not doing anything to protect myself against it. If I'm listening and believing it, I guess I'm not doing anything to protect myself, am I?
No. You referenced the Smith-Mundt Act, which was signed in 1948. I don't know if you know this. Obama was not president in 1948. You referenced that. You clearly haven't read it. And then you said that that was something that Obama put out to legalize propaganda. Literally every single thing you said was wrong. And you're going to leave this, and you're not even gonna update your information. You're just gonna keep believing stuff.
No, I will on that. But like I say,
are you talking about the Smith-Mundt Modernization Act?
Yes.
Okay, so do you want me to pull that up?
No, you just went over it.
No, that was the Smith-Mundt Act. There was a Modernization Act that was signed, I think, under Obama.
Well, I'm pretty sure it's going to be the same thing.
Okay, so here we go. Let's see. Can the U.S. AGM focus its broadcasting in the United States? So are they allowed to broadcast in the United States? No. There has been no change to the agency's enabling statute, the U.S. International Broadcasting Act of 1994, which authorizes the agency to create programs for foreign audience. So if they were going to create a propaganda arm, it wouldn't be to foreign audiences, right? It would be to us.
Yes.
Okay. So what changed is the new legislation eased the restrictions and allows the agencies and its broadcasters to respond positively to requests from within the United States for their content. Meaning, if somebody reaches out and wants access to that content and they're in the United States, that can be given to them. But they cannot present it, they cannot promote it, they can't push it out as propaganda.
But bills and laws, it's not.
Oh my God, that's not a response to what I'm saying.
A short paragraph.
It's not a response to what I'm saying at all.
Okay.
Like at some point, little country girl, like I appreciate that you're willing to have conversations, but at some point, you've got to stop thinking that you know things. Yeah. Because you don't fact check anything ever. You just you show up, you say a bunch of things that you saw on Facebook. You saw how quickly, like, I don't know the details of these plans. It took me 20 seconds to read this. That's all it takes. All you have to do is when you come across something on Facebook or on TikTok, don't file it in your head as this is real. Mm-hmm. Go look it up. Google it. Google, like if you see Biden say something, and you're like, that's crazy. Write down the exact words that he said and Google the exact words he said with the name Biden. You're going to get the full quote. You're going to get the full context, and you're going to see. And if you did this for a week and wrote down every video you saw, if you did this for a week and wrote down every time, how many times was that video correct?
Okay. I'll do that.
You'll recognize how propagandized you've been, I think.
But again, as far as the border, I can see the videos. There's a lot of people coming in and a lot more coming. And I just don't see how we can.
Why is that a problem? You're going to have to explain why that's a problem.
Because, so many are coming, and if you watch videos, before long, we're going to have half the country, other countries. Too many people are going to be here. Too many people are going to be here. We can't afford it.
Yes, we can.
How do you think we can afford it?
Can you tell me the difference between this? So, Elon Musk is advocating that people have more children because he thinks we're going to have a labor shortage. Republicans, lots of Republicans are saying we need to have more children. What is the difference between having more children and having more versus having people come from another country? What's the difference?
And and I thought about that as well. I did. I thought about that. But
so what's the difference?
But the thing is,
what's the difference, I'm asking?
There is no difference, but at what point is everyone before long, you have too many people here, and it's going to be overcrowded.
Well,
And
what do you mean? Oh, what do you
why
mean
can't we
overcrowded?
fix their
Have you been?
countries?
Where do you live? What
Why,
state do you
why
live
can't
in?
we take the money and
What
fix their
state do you
country?
What state do you live in?
North Carolina. I'm
North
sure you can
Carolina.
hear
Okay,
it.
I've driven through North Carolina. You're not overcrowded. There's plenty of room in North
Well,
Carolina.
of course, I don't
And you
think
know what would
we'll
be
take
really
North
nice in
Carolina.
North Carolina, you guys, it would be nice if you had a bunch more people
Yeah.
working and paying taxes. If you had more people working and paying in taxes, your schools could be better, your roads could be better, your state could be better. You need more people paying into taxes, and you need it quickly. If you have a child, there's at least 18 years until that child's paying into taxes, right? We have 9 million jobs sitting unfilled right now. And the more people we have, and the more the more we're progressive with our tax system, meaning that we incentivize the middle class to start their own businesses. We incentivize poor people to be educated, to better their communities, where we do things and invest in those communities. Not only do we create more jobs, but we create more opportunity. And with that, we create more tax revenue, which means we can take better care of our people. We have a real problem here where we can't afford what we've already spent, and the people who spent it, the boomers, they're going away. They're dying off. They're retiring. They're now collecting Medicare, Medicaid, retirement, all of that. They're leaving the workforce, and we desperately need to replace them. Desperately. And we need more revenue coming in. And the only way to get more revenue coming in is more tax revenue. So all these people that are trying to get into our country from whatever countries they're coming from, if we can bring them in and they want to work and we can have them paying into our tax system, that is a net win for us. Almost every economic indicator in the world says that immigration is a net positive for the United States. Net positive. When you say we can't afford them, you're buying into a Republican talking point that says because people are coming over here, we're going to have to pay for them to be here. Well, I don't know. I'm here. The government doesn't give me assistance. I don't know if you get government assistance. Sounds like not. Sounds like you and your husband do well.
Mm-hmm.
So it sounds like to me Republicans are saying that everybody coming here is just not going to work, that they're just looking for handouts. It's weird. And you know who they only say that about? The people coming through on the southern border. I wonder why. I wonder why they're not talking about like people that are immigrating from, let's say, China, or people are immigrating from Europe, or people that are immigrating from
Because
Canada.
the people that are coming in from China are coming through the southern border. They are.
Well, there are people from China that sometimes come through the southern border, but to say that the people coming from China come through the southern border is silly. There's people that come through, like people come here legally all the time, but again, and illegally. But the only thing Republicans really seem to care about is that southern border. Do you think that there's a possibility, even though I'm not making this claim about you, but knowing that the Republicans do have white nationalists in their ranks, knowing that the Republicans generally and historically have had people in their ranks who are white nationalists, is it possible that what they're selling to you is a dog whistle? They're selling you this white nationalist dream that we're going to be replaced. Replacement theory. Have you heard of that?
Yeah, I've heard that.
Yeah. That's a very white nationalist right-wing talking point. Again, it is meant to scare you. It is meant to scare you that there will be too many people and that we can't afford it. Or you'll hear this regularly from Tucker Carlson, that white people will become the minority. Right?
He said that?
He says it all the time. He brings it up all the time that white people will no longer be the majority. Why would he worry about that? Why would he worry about white people becoming the minority?
Yeah, and
it's probably because of how we treat minorities, right?
And that was part of
right?
my problem.
Wait,
yeah.
It's probably because of how we treat minorities, right?
How some people treat them, yes.
Yeah, if you're afraid of being a minority, why? Probably because you don't like the treatment. It says a lot about our country.
Yes. And that was always my problem when I would think about the border is how can we determine who has come here for, to cause harm against people who are coming here to just have a better life.
How can you determine that? How can you determine that with somebody that rents your house? Or how can you determine that by who your school teacher is? Like, again, this is just fear tactics. It's all fear tactics.
That would be my thought.
Let me ask you. Why don't you ask that question about anything other than the southern border?
You know,
Because it's meant to scare you. Everything you're saying is literally stuff that's meant to scare you. You don't know me. If I moved in next to you, how are you going to know what my intentions are?
it's not the people, it's the countries that they're from.
No, how are
Countries
no,
and
listen,
organizations
listen,
that hate us.
listen. If I move in next door to you, how do you know what kind of person I am?
I don't, but
You
you're
don't,
one
right? But is
person.
anybody on TV saying like, we need to vet our neighbors before they move in next door
No.
to us. We must have background checks on all the neighbors that move in.
No,
Nobody
but you
says
have
that.
countries who are saying death to Americans, and then when you have a lot of people from that country come in,
Well, now you just see again fear tactics. Little country girl, how many people are chanting death to America that are coming in across the southern border? How many?
well, of course they're not going to do it. We're going to
No,
coming
well, how
across.
many? No, how many of those people coming
Listen,
across the
I
southern?
know the majority
Hold
of
on,
the people.
Jesus.
Of course I don't know the number.
Well, let
and
me
you know
finish
I
the.
don't know the
I'm
number.
asking
You
the
know
question.
I don't know a number.
Shush. I'm asking the question a little differently to make it easier to
Okay.
answer. How would you know if 0 or 10,000 people want to harm America coming across the southern border? How would you know?
I wouldn't know. But
You wouldn't know.
can't
So
be
then why the
naive.
fuck are Republicans saying that? They don't know.
Because you
You
can't
don't
be
know.
so
I don't
naive.
know. Why do you think they are telling you that that's what's happening when we all know that we couldn't possibly know that that's happening?
Yeah, we don't know.
Propaganda.
So there should be a better way
Propaganda.
to vet
Fear
these
tactics.
people.
They this little country girl, they offer nothing for you and for your husband. I don't know if you have children. They offer nothing for you. And they
My
know
son's
they
in the
offer and they
military.
know they offer nothing for you, so they lie to you to make you scared so that you will vote for them. If they offered you anything at all, you could come on here and tell me about their plans,
Yeah.
about what they're going to offer you. But they don't. So instead, they scare you and you're falling for it.
Yeah, at this point, I don't even think I'm going to vote. I mean,
Well, that's
because it's just
cowardly
crazy.
because I sit on here every day and I tell people like what the plans are. Joe
Yeah.
Biden is releasing his plans all the time. He's telling you what he's going to do, and you won't vote for him because you've been conditioned to think Democrat bad. You're talking about a man, little country girl, a man in Joe Biden whose biggest crime seems to be that when his son was riddled with drug addiction, he loved him too much. That is literally the only thing you can put on Joe Biden outside of saying some dumb things. He lost a wife in a tragic accident. He lost his son who was a patriot. He got remarried. He took care. He didn't disown his son when his son was publicly embarrassing day after day after day.
And I
He
respect
stayed
that.
with his son and he loved him.
And I respect that.
By all measures, this is a good man, and you've been led to believe that he's a problem.
Like I say, I respect that part of him.
Then
and
get some
there's
courage.
really nothing
Then
we
get
can
some
do about the
courage.
border.
Then
You're
get
right.
some courage and vote for people trying to make a difference, and not stop defending and advocating for people that are doing nothing for you but scaring you. It's time for you to own up to this. You've been on
Okay.
this platform a million times. You've been on other people's platforms a million times. I've never once seen you say Republicans can do this for me. You're now admitting that they are just lying to you with propaganda over and over and over. It's time for you to look in a different direction.
Okay, can you answer me one question and maybe
Sure.
I guess my mind on it.
Sure.
Like I say, my son's in the military, and I guess that's a lot of reason why I'm afraid. But so we used to all feel safe that if
You're kind of moving away from your microphone, I think, so we can't hear you very well.
we used to always feel safe that another country could not come in and invade us because of our oceans and because of our borders.
Mm-hmm.
So, it's already a possibility that we can go to war with China. Would it not be genius for them to have people in here to come across in case that happens? I mean, that is something you can't deny that would be a genius plan. I mean, take advantage of the border.
that would happen under Republicans or Democrats unless you completely closed the southern border. But even then, little country girl, we are the world superpower militarily. What are you like? What are you afraid of? A ground invasion? Nobody can get anywhere near us with
if
any
they're
sort of
already
invasion with
here.
an army. Like the only option of us being at war on U.S. soil is if people are nuking us. And there's not the southern border has nothing to do with that. Nobody is going to invade America. They can't. It's impossible. Nobody has the means to do it. We will wipe them off of the planet.
We used to think that way. But
we have more technology to do that now than at any other time in history.
Okay, so let's say if we go to war with China and our soldiers are busy with that.
Wait, do you think China... Wait, hold on. Do you think China would go to war with us? Are you out of your fucking mind? China cannot exist without us. Their entire economy is propped up on us. They do not exist. They do not exist without us. If we went away, China goes away. Unless China thought they could beat us in a war, and they've got no fucking shot against us in a war. No shot. We could send 0 troops. Joe Biden could sit there and play Scrabble on one phone and push buttons on the other and wipe China off the map. There is nobody on this planet who can go to war with the United States and come even close to winning. Especially not if they are trying to come to us. There is no shot of China going to war with us. There is no shot they could beat us at a war, and they don't want to go to war with us. But again, Joe Biden's in office, and the Republicans don't have a goddamn thing to say, so they're like, we're going to go to war with China. The war with China's coming. The war with China's coming. That's the most nonsensical argument I've ever heard. Get any military leader on the phone. Get any of them to say, like, do you think China has a shot against us? And they'll say, not a fucking chance. And if you could get China to be honest, China would be like, yeah, of course we can't win that war.
Well, there have been war scenarios. I think there's like 10 or 12 of them where each time we've lost.
What?
Yeah, never mind. You're not going to believe that.
I'm talking about,
anyway,
no, little country girl. I'm talking about China trying to take over us. I'm not talking about us intervening in a war like we did like in Vietnam. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about us going to war against China. China cannot take over our country. They have no shot. They don't have the capabilities. They have a large army, big army. How the fuck are they going to get in here?
Well,
we don't even need an army. We can just shoot them down. They can't get in.
Cuba.
That army could get nowhere near us.
Okay, so you know that there's a spy base. China
okay, let's go through your scenario. Okay. China has a spy base in Cuba. They're sending their military to Cuba, and they're sneaking over the southern border.
Yeah.
And at some point, what are they going to do? They're going to they're going to come together and they're going to attack us from within. Is that the idea?
Well, they can shut our communication down, our food, water supply.
Okay, they can do that. Okay, they could do that under any president, regardless of the southern, regardless of the southern border, right? They could fly here. They could come from the northern border. They could come here legally and overstay. There's a million different ways that they could do that. That's not Democrat or Republican. Republicans are not going to do anything to fix that.
It's easier to come through the southern border.
Sure, they can come through the southern border with fake documents. It happens every single day. But do you think that's China's plan? How many people would China have to sneak in before they could overtake our country?
Doing it for years.
Oh, see, but little country girl, this is just fear tactics. You've just been propagandized. Well, you're now like your last grasping straw for Republicans is China's going to take us over by going to Cuba and then sneaking in. Come on. You know that's silly.
I just think you'd be naive to think that would not be a possibility.
If it is a possibility, the chances that it could happen are astronomical. Sure, everything's a possibility, but the Republicans aren't going to do a thing about that. They can't stop that. If that was going to happen, it's going to happen. But no, we also have intelligence. Like, we're not dumb. Yeah. You know that, like, they're listening to every one of your phone calls. They're checking every text message. Like,
probably now.
Yeah, it's silly. We're more secure now than we've ever been before. But again, Republicans have nothing to say, so they have to scare you. How come every talking point that you've brought up today? Just answer this honestly. Why do you think? Why do you think every talking point you've brought up has to do with fear?
Because it's based on emotions, and that's what they're going after.
Yeah.
But And then Biden gets on TV and tells the world we're out of weapons. We're out of weapons. We're running low on weapons. I saw that. I watched that live. Google that. Google that right now. There's plenty of articles on it. Look it up. That's all I'm asking. Google it right now. Biden did. I swear to God.
Wait, but again, what?
So you don't, you didn't.
I'm
see
going to look
that.
at
We're
Biden said we're out of weapons.
Yes, yes. We're out. We're running low on weapons.
Well, yeah, we're sending weapons. Let's see.
Exactly, and I mean, so
Yeah, so what he
giving all
said,
of our weapons-
he said that Ukraine is running out of cluster munitions, and that,
No.
yeah.
It's
Joe Biden said
another
it was.
article. I
Okay.
know the one you're
It's a
referring
very
to.
difficult decision on my part. And by the way, I discussed this with our allies. I discussed this with our friends on the Hill. The Ukrainians are running out of ammunition. And then let me go, because it's
said
not just.
we.
Hold on, hold on. This is a war relating to munitions, and they're running out of that ammunition, and we're low on it. And so, see, now that's the part you saw, right?
So, but there's also
Wait! Stop! Shush! That's what you saw, right?
I saw the interview.
Okay, so then the next part is, and so what I finally did, I took the recommendation of the department or the Defense Department to not permanently, but to allow for this transition period while we get more 155 weapons, these shells for Ukrainians. So not permanently, we're going to get it, and then we're going to keep manufacturing or buying. I don't know where we get these weapons. I don't know where we get this ammunition, but we're either going to buy more or manufacture more. Again, what is the point of this? Like, what is the point of this? You just have this list of things that you think are so bad, and every one of them is just something to scare you into voting for Republicans. How do you not see it at this point?
Well, that's why I'm talking to you, because I respect you.
Okay, so let's talk about the things that can we talk about the things that do affect our country then?
Okay.
How about we talk about income inequality? Do you think that's a big problem?
Income equality?
Inequality. Do you think it's a
I
problem
don't
that
know.
billionaires?
I thought that that was fixed. That everyone was pretty much started at the same rates as.
That's not what.
everyone else.
Let me explain what income inequality is. Income inequality is basically saying like that. If you have money, it's easier to make money than.
Oh, I thought you meant their paycheck. Got you.
Correct. So
That they were getting
we
paid.
had under Trump, we had the largest transfer of wealth in United States history during the pandemic. It was during the first part of Biden's years too, if we're going to be fair. But the largest transfer of wealth to the 1%, and that money is not circulating. The poor are becoming more poor. The middle class is becoming more poor. The rich are getting richer. Do you see that as a problem?
Definitely.
Okay. What is the Republican plan to address that?
I'm not sure.
Their plan is to lower taxes. How would lowering taxes fix that?
It would be a Band-Aid, but
No, it
not
wouldn't
a
fix.
long term.
Do you know why it wouldn't fix anything? Is because what happens is if you lower taxes, people have a little bit more money to spend, and because of how fucked our economy is now and how much money goes to the same oligarchs, that money
Yeah.
just trickles through the economy, goes to the rich people, and then it stays up there. And that's why we always have to bail out these companies. That's why we always have to inject more money into the economy, because the rich are hoarding the money. Republicans don't want to do anything about that. What about our situation with in major cities with homelessness and drug abuse and crime? What's the Republican solution to that?
I don't know either side's solution.
If you watch the debates, their solutions range from essentially like we need to get the economy working again, which doesn't make any sense because they don't provide any specifics, or we need to have more police to arrest all these people.
Well,
No
Trump
investment into mental health care, no investment into facilities, nothing to fix the income inequality that drives homelessness. The number one driver of of homelessness is income inequality. It's the number one driver. It all starts there. Republicans don't care about that because they're just trying to help out their rich friends. Everything that is important to you. Everything that's important to you on a day-to-day basis, the Republicans don't want to talk about. They want to talk to you about the southern border. They want to talk to you about trans kids. They want to talk to you about Ukraine. They want to talk to you about Israel. But the stuff that affects you day to day, they never talk about. And you know why? Because they don't have a plan for it. That's why they just keep you scared. They keep you scared so that you'll vote for them. I worked for the GOP. Okay, I heard the same shit all the time. My job with the Romney campaign, we had teams going door to door, and we were trying to convince people that Obamacare would usher in socialism and communism.
Mm-hmm.
That was our goal. It wasn't communism. It wasn't socialism. Even if it was implemented in the exact way Obama wanted to implement it, where it was truly universal health care, it's still not communism. It's still not socialism. It's just a social program. But that was the argument against it, and it was effective for a lot of Republicans. Scare them into thinking it's socialism, and they won't keep looking at it. Scare Republicans into thinking that we're not safe under Joe Biden, and they won't look at Joe Biden. Scare them into thinking that having trans kids is going to turn all of your kids trans, and they'll stop looking at it. Scare them into high taxes mean that we'll all be poor and all the jobs will go to another country, and we'll stop and they'll stop looking at it. All they do is scare you from looking at reality. There's no plan. Nothing will get done.
Is that because they're and I'm just asking, is that because they're getting voted against?
I've never. Have you seen the Republicans put forward a health care proposal?
No, I don't think so.
No, I don't think so either. Have you seen them do anything about trying to get some of that money back from billionaires? No, they just cut their taxes, right? Give them more, deregulate, make sure that they can keep more of their money. Which is what interesting when you put a billionaire in as president, that he looked after his own interests before he looked after yours.
Yeah, but I mean,
your tax cut expired. Your tax cut expired. His didn't.
Yeah, but I'm sure Democrats would do the same thing. You know, just like Trump said.
Would do the same. No, that doesn't happen under Democrats. You'd have to show me an example.
Clinton enjoys the same tax breaks as Trump's did. I mean,
sure, but he's not. But Clinton is not in office. Everybody who's rich enjoys that tax break. What I'm telling you again, this isn't like a who's bad, right? Yeah. I'm telling you that when Republicans were in power, they did nothing but help the billionaires and the millionaires. They did not help you. They did nothing for you. And that's why when we had COVID, we had an economy that was a little bit of a bubble, and everybody felt like things were going well, but we were spending more and we were taking in less money, creating bigger deficits. We did not prepare for the future. There was no safety net in place. And so when COVID came, guess what happened? The rich got richer, everybody else got more poor. It's been going on for 40 years since Ronald Reagan. Trickle-down economics. All that has happened since trickle-down economics is the middle class getting smaller and smaller, the poor getting poorer and poorer, and the rich getting richer and richer. And for some reason, Republicans have done such a great job in making you believe that us on the left are evil communists that you will just look the other way and watch yourself get destroyed by the billionaire class and eat it up like you guys are doing something great. They're not helping you. They're hurting you. They're hurting the country.
So what is the Democrats' plan to change that?
Well, it would depend on the Democrat, but you have a lot of plans. You have universal health care, which a lot of people.
And do you know that universal health care is you end up having long waits to see doctors and specialists. So the care is not as good.
Let me give you real quick. Let me just tell you. I need you to recognize that you're and we've covered this for like an hour now. Mm-hmm. And I told you what my job was when I worked for Romney. Scare people into thinking it's socialism, right? Scare them so they don't look at it. When I brought up universal health care, your first reaction was to talk about something scary.
Well, I've heard the people in
I know, but wait, no. Wait, stay with me. Don't think about what you said.
Yeah.
Think about the first reaction, your first opposition to universal health care was something you've heard that was meant to scare you.
Well, I mean, I
Right?
would
Wait,
love
right?
to have
Wait,
that.
right?
I would love to have, yeah, because
Wait,
it's what
okay, so
I've
now let's
heard
talk about,
from
so
the
now let's
people.
talk, okay, so now I'll address the concern. The
Uh-huh.
concern of long wait times. We already have long wait times.
No,
My
this is
dad had
long
stage,
wait time.
my dad had stage 4 terminal cancer. He waited almost 6 weeks to get care because the insurance companies were jerking him around. 30 million
minimum is
30 million
18 weeks.
30 million Americans have no health care. Their wait time is unlimited. If you're looking at a place like Canada to compare wait times, it's a dumb thing to compare. Canada's
18 months in-
Canada's
18 weeks in some
Canada's
places.
Canada's population is nowhere near the size of ours. We have more more resources, and they don't have Medicare for all. They have universal health care. There are better systems out of all the countries in the world for outcomes, like meaning how good is our health care? Do
Yeah.
people live longer? Are people more satisfied? Do they have access of care? Is that access quick? We are ranked number 13. The other 12 countries that do it better than us all have universal health care. And Bernie Sanders has modeled his plan a lot like theirs. You can talk about the VA. You can talk about our veterans. The VA, which everybody agrees isn't very good, has better outcomes than our healthcare system. The VA, which everybody loves to shit on, is better than what we have now. Medicare has better outcomes and better satisfaction than our current system. All the things that people point to and say, look how bad that is, are
Yeah.
actually better than what we have.
Yeah.
We could have universal health care where everybody in this country could go see a doctor when they're feeling sick. It would decrease the amount of people that have long-term disease. It would catch diseases early so they could be preventable and treatable. It would give people access to a doctor so they had better knowledge about how to eat.
Where's the
how
money
to-
gonna
how to
come
control-
from?
Well,
How can we
I'm
afford
almost
it?
there. I'm almost there.
Oh, sorry.
We would have all of that. Right
Yes, sir.
now, on average, Americans spend $12,000 a year on their health care.
Mm-hmm.
Bernie Sanders' plan, depending on the the economist that you look at, his plan would cost between $8,000 and like $13,000 a year per person. Roughly, best case scenario, we save $4,000 a person. Worst case scenario, it's roughly $1,000 more per person. But every single person in this country has access to mental health care and physical health care, meaning the violence that we see, the school violence, the people that we see that are homeless because they could not get health care, they couldn't get mental health care. We see that fixed overnight. 30 million people who don't have insurance, overnight they are lifted out of poverty. We get rid of every bankruptcy due to medical bills. That puts I think it would, last I saw, something like 60 million people would now be able to potentially buy a home because they don't have a bankruptcy on their record for medical bills anymore. That means less corporations buying houses.
Well, I'm going through that
means
now
more-
with my
that means-
medical bills.
Exactly.
I'm having
and if we had
medical.
universal health care, you
Yeah.
wouldn't be worried about any of this.
Well, see, I have good credit. My bills are paid, but medical bills. And I didn't think it would bring down the score, but it brings down your score a lot for medical
Yeah.
bills.
Yeah, and so what Republicans want to do is they want to keep this system in place. And the reason this system doesn't work is for two reasons. Big Pharma and health insurance companies.
Mhm.
What is Big Pharma and the health insurance companies' number one goal?
To make money.
To make money. So they're always going to make as much money as they possibly can, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So if you get rid of the healthcare companies, because they will be gone, under
Mhm.
Medicare for All, they're gone. We all pool our money together. There's no profit center. Right now, these healthcare companies take 96% of their profits and they put it right back in their pockets or their investors' pockets. 4 to 5% they're putting back to take care of you, right? To make things better for you. Well, there's no profit because the government is not a business. So you wipe out all of that. The government now is incentivized to do one thing and one thing only. Provide you two things. Either provide you with the best possible care or provide you with the best possible care while it's affordable. They can take any of those, but their entire incentive is to keep you and me happy. And then they go to these pharmaceutical companies and they say to the pharmaceutical companies, "Hey, this is what we're going to pay for your drug."
Yeah.
And the pharmaceutical company has one of two options. They can just go under or they can say, "Okay." On average, we pay 4 times more for our drugs than every other country. And that's because our drug companies are negotiating, our for-profit drug companies are
Mhm.
negotiating with for-profit health insurance companies, and they work in tandem to make as much as they want.
Mhm.
If we take away their negotiating partner who helps them raise the prices and we become the negotiating partner, then we say, no, you can't charge us 4 times more than you're paying everybody else. Our health insurance gets cheaper. We all have access to it. We have better care. And again, the stress in your life right now that you're having with medical bills goes away.
Yeah.
Gone.
I mean, it sounds, I mean, I'm all for it and it sounds great, if we could work it out to where, it did run good, because a lot of people would run to the doctor for sniffles or a virus.
That's okay.
I mean, that would
That's
have
okay.
to be
Wait, but that's okay.
restrictions and
Little
stuff
country girl,
on
if
it.
you ran to the doctor for sniffles and he said, oh, you've just got a cold, here's what you need to do. Take some vitamin C, get rest, drink plenty of water, and you're good. But
But
and if
people
this
cannot
happens
take
again, and
advantage.
if you have these symptoms again, just know it's just the sniffles. If it gets worse, come see me
Yeah.
again. Yes, people would go to the doctor. They wouldn't. You're
Yeah.
talking about like all these people would go to the doctor. That points out a problem, doesn't it? It
Well,
points
no,
out this
some people
problem
would take
that
advantage.
but
Like
hold on.
they would go to the-
Hold on. It points out the problem that right now people have to decide whether or not it's worth it to go
Yeah.
see a doctor because of money.
Yeah.
Well, and I hate to say it, but like most of us aren't medical professionals. So how the fuck are we? How would we know when we should go see a doctor? This is great, but again, I'm just telling you, there are 12 countries in this world that do healthcare better than us. All of them have universal healthcare. So
Okay.
if they can do it, why can't we?
So, and why haven't we done it? Is
Because there are too many politicians in bed with the health insurance companies.
Okay.
Virtually all of Republicans and then some of the moderate Democrats. It's not Republicans alone. And
Yeah.
we need to vote them out.
Exactly.
So-
well, I know in that article that I mentioned earlier, Trump did 2 things about medicine. Like he did something where the pharmacist would be able to tell of coupons and savings that they were not able to do before. It was something. He did 2 different things with them. I mean, like I say, I'm just mentioning. I just remember.
Yeah,
that,
it's not to
but-
say that
but
Trump. It's not to
enough.
say that Trump didn't do anything.
Yeah.
He did do some stuff,
Yeah.
but he wouldn't have had to do any of that if we had universal health care.
Exactly.
He wouldn't have even had to legislate that.
Exactly.
So you got to ask yourself, what if again you're going to vote for Republicans? They're voting that the prices you pay for your medical bills keep going up. Just so you know, when you vote for Republicans, you're voting for your medical care prices to go up. You're voting for billionaires to have more money. You're voting for poor people to have less money. You're voting for the middle class to continue to shrink. You are literally voting against your own interests, and you're doing so because they've done a great job scaring you. I lost you there.
Kennedy, isn't he in the middle?
No, he's not. But
these-
could you respond to what I said? Because this is the thing. You want to vote Kennedy because you feel like it's like a middle ground where
Yeah.
you've spent all this time.
Yeah.
You've spent all this time thinking Democrats are bad, and now you want to go Kennedy. I can tell you that's
because
exactly.
I don't know. I just don't
let me
know
give you some.
what to
Let me
believe
give you some
anymore.
advice then here. Let me just give you some advice based on my life. Take it or leave it, and then I
Uh-huh.
do need to get to the next person. I was a Republican until 2015. I left the Republican Party for a myriad of reasons, but one of which was Donald Trump, who I always knew was a fraudster, a huckster.
Mhm.
I thought he was a piece of shit. I left, but because I had spent so much time campaigning against Democrats and being a proud Republican, I was like, I'll never be a Democrat. I will never, ever be a Democrat. I'm not going to do it. So I went and I voted for a Libertarian. I voted for Gary Johnson, and I joined the Libertarian Party. And quickly I found out that the Libertarians were mostly just Republicans who didn't want to say they were Republicans. And then because I had left the Republican Party and I was now a Libertarian, but it felt too comfortable to me, I started having real discussions with 2 cousins of mine. They're both brilliant. They're both probably more left than I am now, but I was open. I was willing to drop my ego. I was willing to say maybe I don't know. And every time we got in an argument or a discussion, every time it went like this conversation just went with me and you.
Yeah,
I
open.
talked about my feelings and they gave me data. And
Okay.
eventually I realized that the only thing keeping me from accepting what they were giving me was my own pride. I didn't want to be wrong. I didn't want to admit to myself that I had been duped. And once I was willing to admit that I not only I was duped, but I could be duped again, it made my life a lot easier. Again, I'm not saying the Democrats are perfect. I have real issues with some of the Democrats. I like some Democrats, but I'm telling you, when you set aside all of your feelings, get rid of all those. If you can have a conversation without anything that has to do with your feelings, and you just look at the data, there's no question that what the Democrats are proposing is better for the American people. And that's why you're seeing such a shift to the left, the shift that everybody's afraid of to the left, that all the Republicans are afraid of. It's because it's becoming more and more apparent that the policies that the Republicans developed in the 1980s that they haven't really changed don't work, and they're not working, and they hurt people. And so that's why people are shifting to the left. I'm just telling you, honest to God, if you could get your feelings out of the way and you could be humble enough to look at the information you're given, I think you would realize that you've been voting against your own interests for a very long time.
Okay. Who knows? Next week I may come back and tell you.
Do me a favor. Do me a favor, and I don't offer this to everybody. I'll offer it to you. When you see things that you question, you can DM them to me on one condition.
Yes, that I don't try to argue that it's right.
Whatever I send back to you,
yes.
you read it without feelings. Just read it and try and weigh it. Is that fair?
That sounds great.
And then we can talk again on here. I honestly appreciate it. I think it was a good discussion. I do need to let others up, but let's do that. We'll start there. How about that?
And that's why I chose you. I respect your opinions and was on the fence, but thank you for the time today.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Okay.
We'll talk to you soon.
Right. Bye-bye.
Oh, my screen is frozen. You may have to drop. I can't drop you. Okay. There we go. All right. Nobody. I say nobody weird. Is that how you say it? Do people say nobody or nobody?
Hey, Jay.
Hey, how you doing?
Hey, so I noticed that some places they have started crowdfunding for healthcare. What's stopping the American people from turning away from the government pushing stuff we don't like and creating our own systems?
Yeah, so like I actually the healthcare that I get because I'm self-employed is crowdfunded. I'm not going to say which one, but I do have a crowdfunding healthcare plan. The main issues I see with that is it doesn't really address the idea that we need like a stronger negotiating point with these pharmaceutical companies. So we can't because all the crowdfunding sources there's many of them, right? They're not bargaining as a collective. That's a problem. So I don't think it addresses the issue of dropping the prices. But two, most of those crowdfunding ones are religious based, and I think that they take away some of the freedom that people have to make their own choices, and they're limited in what they'll pay. So, for example, when we had our daughter, we did IVF. So basically, all prenatal care was not covered because we did not have our daughter naturally. But then, the birth was covered. I paid, I think, $500. Everything else was covered, but I had to come out of pocket for that money, and it took almost a year to get reimbursed for that. So, not everybody has the means to come out of pocket for that money, and not everybody is going to submit the paperwork right, and there's just too many limitations. So, I do think it's a good alternative to healthcare. I would recommend it for anybody that wants an alternative to expensive healthcare. But I still don't think it's better than Medicare for all.
Hey, Jay, I'm 47. How old are you?
37. Whew.
37?
Yeah.
I remember before the healthcare was changed up that when you paid, everything was 100% taken care of. Do you remember those days, or are you too young?
No, I don't know anything about that. What do you mean it was by like the health insurance company? Are you saying before? Oh, okay. So there wasn't like a copay?
Yeah,
no deductible.
Before the government got involved, and it was changed by the government, and that was from both parties, not just from one party.
What did they change? I don't know. Maybe I don't know this. What did they change?
Well, once they took welfare itself, and they pretty much took all the money from where the welfare was. That's the people that couldn't afford to pay $60 a week for their health care, but everything was 100% paid. Even if you had a heart attack or anything, or a stroke, or you could be on life support for the rest of your life, it was only $65 a week is what it was. And I know that's expensive, but boy, it's much better than what it is today.
To be 100% honest, I'm not sure what you're talking about. From what I'm being told, that's like maybe a half truth, so I'm missing something. I'm not really
All
sure.
right,
Actually,
that's
I think
half truth. But can someone, whoever's in your ear or talking to you, explain why that's a half truth
yeah.
when
Here she is.
everything was paid for?
Yeah, here she is. Oh, maybe not. Oh, Allie, I tried to bring you up. You might need to jump back down. Maybe you can't do it. Maybe she was in the request and needed to go. She's responding. She's saying most plans weren't that way. I don't know anything about this, to be
She
honest. This
says
is all
most
news to me.
plans weren't that way. There was like 3 or 4 plans you could pick from, but the plan I always picked was the most expensive plan. So because heart attacks run in my family and strokes and stuff like that, so I thought I was grandfathered in with Blue Cross Blue Shield on this plan, and basically once they passed this through by the head honcho at the time, but it was everybody on both parties voted for this. I'm not blaming Obama, but he certainly was the head of passing this and signing the bill in. But the Republicans also decided to allow this to happen because they were voting in big business and they didn't care how much big business makes. They just didn't like that they had to pay for people that were sick on these plans. When they pay for it the whole life, they're allowed to be the way it was. They were allowed to actually be taken care of. Nowadays, you're pretty much bankrupt.
Okay, nobody, let me jump in there, okay? This is why it's a half truth, what you're saying, okay? You have a somewhat credible point, but there are some very key information that's missing here. First and foremost, your plan before the ACA may have covered 100%. There were some that did. They were not the vast majority of the plans. Most plans still had copays. A lot of them that I saw were like 80-20 splits, lower out of pockets, that kind of thing. Were they better than they are now? Generally speaking, yes.
Ma'am,
But
how
most
old are
like
you?
I'm
Ma'am, how old
44.
are you?
I'm 44.
Okay, because I
How
think
old are you?
that's not the truth. I'm 47. That's absolutely not the truth for the majority of everybody in these states that wanted the policies that covered 100%, 100%, no deductible. Yes.
No, you're
Don't
completely
call me a liar. I lived in
no.
this time frame.
I didn't call you a liar, but if you keep it up, I will.
Okay, call me
The
a
fact of
liar,
the
but
matter
you're
is very
wrong.
simple. The fact of the matter is very simple is that may have been your personal anecdotal experience. Fair enough. There are some people who had really good jobs, who had really
What
good
does
health care.
anecdotal mean? What's
Your
anecdotal mean?
personal.
Hey, nobody.
personal
Hey,
experience.
let me step in real quick. I was very kind. I listened to what you said. It seems to me that like you're getting a little aggressive when she's just coming in and stating something like your story, your
No, it's
personal.
personal.
Well, hold on. Shush.
This is very
Shush.
personal. When I know
Dude,
I'm
shush.
being lied
Shush,
to,
dude.
it's very
Dude, what the
personal.
fuck are you doing? Shush. Be quiet.
I'm being lied
Be
to.
quiet. Hey, shush. I was talking. Be quiet. She's your personal experience. What happened to you in your personal life is anecdotal. That doesn't mean it's not valid. It doesn't mean it didn't happen. She's just providing data and simply explaining to you that your experience wasn't the same as everybody else's. And if you're going to come up and have these types of discussions, I was respectful to you. I expect you to act the same way to her. I gave you a lot of time to speak. I didn't interrupt. I said I wasn't sure. I said Allie has some information. She's going to come up. This is nothing to be upset about. This is nothing to argue about. She's just simply telling you what she knows. So just be patient, be a man, and listen.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Anyhow, what I was going to say, additionally, some of the context that's missing from what you had to say was also that when the ACA came through, part of the reason that the Republicans voted for the ACA was because Obama compromised on the single payer clauses, which basically meant that they would mandate health insurance, that people have to purchase private health insurance. And the concession was that if they could get the healthcare.gov open market going, then they would forego the single payer section. And Republicans like that, right? Because insurance companies are going to benefit from that. They are top donors oftentimes on the Hill. And so they're excited about that. They're like, hell yeah, we can do that because now that's going to promote private industry, right? We're not hurting private industry at all. So while I understand what you're saying, and there are parts of what you're saying that are 100% valid, just like RTP was saying, I'm not invalidating what you're saying. I'm saying there's context that's missing from the situation there. So I would encourage you to recognize that your experience is not everybody's experience. Just like my experience is not everybody's experience. Does that make sense?
It was 100% for the working, but probably not the poor, but for the working class, not the people that weren't working, that could have that benefit, yes.
Every private plan offered 100% coverage, no deductibles, no copays.
The PPOs were 100%. The HMOs, you had a choice to pay a little bit more for insurance. If you thought that you were healthy and you didn't want to pay a little bit more, there was plans that were probably a third of the cost. I chose the most expensive plan because I already know I'm already prone to the issues that I mentioned of heart attacks and strokes.
I'll
Right.
be honest
So,
with you, like I didn't have a choice in plans until after the ACA. We were given what the employer decided to buy into.
What state do you live in? I'm in Arizona, just like Jay.
I live in Montana.
Now, Jay, if he's, well, you're like 38 or something. When did the ACCA come into play? Because I know my life was perfect before then on planning for retirement and end of life. But now it's up in the air. I'm not allowed to make a certain amount of money if I want my health care to be cheap enough to afford.
yeah, well, here's the problem here's the thing that we ran into with the ACA that we sometimes disregard or we call like greed. What the ACA did is it made it so insurance companies could not choose to not insure somebody because of pre-existing condition. It brought other people into the market that maybe weren't as healthy. So yeah, your costs went up, but your costs also went up because there's a profit center there, right? It made it better for everybody, or I mean for the mass, but for some people it didn't get better. That's the problem with private health insurance in general. If we want to go back to what you're talking about, we would have to probably get rid of this idea that like you can't that you can discriminate based on pre-existing conditions, right? You're going to have more people unemployed. These health insurance companies want to make as much money as they possibly can. So when they were added additional costs or additional risks, they pass that on to you. It doesn't happen with universal health care. That's why I'm an advocate of universal health care. Because even if you can point to the ACA as the reason your health insurance changed, I would point to the people who couldn't get any health insurance. And I would say, well, that's fine. Like those people have health insurance now. And it shows the flaw in using health insurance in a marketplace. It's not something that should be in the marketplace. It's something that we should be able to negotiate as a whole, and everybody should have access to medical care. That's the real problem. That we can point fingers all day and say like this that it existed for you and now it doesn't because of ACA. But the point is there were a lot of things that didn't exist for the ACA, and it helped a ton of people. So what do? We want to help everybody the best that we can. So let's put everybody in a scenario where they pay no deductible and no copay and everything's covered. We'll have a better plan than what you had before.
My whole point is without crowdfunding and without people joining forces against the government that is not doing the right things, and both Democrat and Republicans both did this to us. They both did. This.
Did you? No, you're not responding. You're not even remotely responding to what I just said. I just said eliminate the health insurance companies, not crowdfund it, universal health care. And you're saying we have to band together. Let me tell you a problem that you've got there, Nobody. You're not very convincing. And people like you aren't very convincing. So this idea that everybody's just going to agree with you and go against the government to fix this is stupid, it's silly, it won't work. What it'll leave us with is the same fucking system that we have right now that is just charging us up the ass for everything that we do. The solution, if you're saying like we the people want to take our power back, great, let's pool our money. It's crowdfunding. That's literally what our government is. Our government is literally crowdfunding. We pool our money, we negotiate as one. 350 million strong. And we go to the pharmaceutical companies who say, this is what we're going to pay. Yeah, he ran. All right,
He did.
Yeah,
Can I just make one more quick point and then I'll get out of your hair? I'm hearing a lot of conflation between our southern border and what's going on in the Israeli region. And I just wanted to point out to Republicans who are perhaps afraid or listening to the rhetoric on their side, the Israelis have had the kind of border control that you're advocating for, and this attack still happened. Donald Trump in Agenda 47 is advocating to up the border standard to very similar standards to what the Israelis currently have. And this attack still happened. So don't allow the rhetoric on the right to unnecessarily fearmonger you over terrorism like they did after 9/11, when when what they're proposing you cannot prove will deter it. That's all I had to say. Thanks.
Thank you. Appreciate it, Allie. Nobody went running. Nobody is. I remember nobody now. Like, I forgot about nobody. It always comes up like super polite, but as soon as you push back, it's all hell breaks loose. But I don't know that. I'll be honest. He sounds like Andy Biggs. I've talked to Andy Biggs on the phone enough that guy sounds just like Andy Biggs. That would be hilarious if that's Andy Biggs. But if you guys want to pull that up, go listen to like a town hall from Andy Biggs and compare those two voices. Andy Biggs, I believe Andy Biggs knows who I am. We are not good friends. All right, looking just for opposition real quick. Thali, thanks for coming up and helping me with the stuff I didn't know. I appreciate that. Let's see. I see you, Joyful. Just looking for. Oh, you dropped down. Thank you. I see you. Welcome. I don't know how to say your name. STLABA. Blah.
Oh, I didn't even know it was coming up. I apologize.
All right.
Can I bring down any popcorn and Sam's Cola?
Drop me down.
All right. All right. See you later. What time is it? 12 o'clock. We may go tonight. I'm trying to decide tonight if I should run a quick live or I should just go over to HVACs again and take care of that. I did see he messaged me. I don't know if he found that video that he was going to send me. Haven't decided yet. Liter of cola. You're going at 6, Fax? I can maybe do that. It depends on my daughter's sick, so I haven't had an update for a while. I'm not sure how much, and my ex has had to she's had to take care of her all night and all morning, so she may need a break. We'll see. I don't know how sick she is. So yeah, 6 Eastern, 6 don't platform HVAC. Yeah, I go to well, he's not here. I was saying I go to his. And if any of you have missed the HVAC lives recently, because I'm sure most of you don't follow him or have him blocked, but he decided the other night to do a panel, and he's like, I'm going to take on all the leftists, and he brought up a panel. I think there was maybe 4 or 5 of us. I'm trying to remember who was there. I'm so bad. I'm so bad with names. Who all was there? I know it wasn't Barrister. Somebody help me out. Who was there? Now, why can't I remember now? No, I don't even remember. Was Breeze there? Mashi's. Oh yeah, Zeus. That's right. Zeus, Fuzzy. Who am I missing? Oh, Felice. Oil Spill. I think Oil Spill was there. Yeah. Anyways, it didn't go super well for Jeff. I think he went to another line after, and was another live after. Was like, that didn't go well. I think he even knew that it didn't go well for him. I don't remember what we were talking about, but it was a gutsy. I give him credit. He was going to take on a panel of leftists. Yeah, Political Mom was there too. Yeah, thank you. Political Mom was also there. Looks like we've got incoming news. Hi, Miss Julie.
Hey, Jay.
Oh man,
how's
voice
it going?
is sounding. Well, I've had a good day. How's your day been?
Little queasy here.
Oh no,
Jay, we're still all getting over it. Oh.
Getting over the bird flu?
Yeah, we're not exactly sure. Well, I tell you, I didn't eat the eggs this morning.
Thank God.
I didn't eat anything this morning.
I was gonna say, what are you?
Oh, my goodness. So today might be the day, Jay. I mean, I didn't dare go to my hearing because I just was feeling terrible. So got word to my attorney to just go in my place. Haven't
Okay.
heard anything back yet, but I'm wondering if I'm gonna have to say farewell to Miss Linda and give her back her phone and a piece of her heart. It's gonna be tough.
Do you think maybe she would let you keep the phone, just like as a keepsake?
Well, I've got one at home. I wouldn't want to do that to Miss Linda. I'm sure she's going to be looking for a sister wife or a cousin wife once I'm gone, so I don't blame her. It'd never work. It'd never work on the outside, Jay. For every year that you spend sentenced in prison, it's a 32% increase in chances that you're going to get divorced when you get out. And we're old women. We don't have that kind of time.
Is there somebody moaning in the background?
Well, a lot of us are still sick, Jay.
I thought I heard a moan in the background. Did I hear someone say help in the background?
Yes, that was my celly, but I'm trying to pretend like I don't hear it, I don't see it, and I don't smell it. My constitution is weak.
What's going on with your celly?
Well, she's got that birdie flu hoop-de-doo and lots of poo. We've been trying to run a tight ship in here, but
what's the smell coming from?
The metal commode in the toilet and whatever it is stuck on the bottom of her prison flip-flop. It's not good, Jay.
It sounds
terrible.
terrible.
Wait, hey, shh, hold on. Hey, Smitty, yeah. Here it comes. He's got some papers for me. Okay, thanks, bud. All right.
Who's Smitty? Is that one of the guards?
Smitty's one of the guards.
Sounds like you've made some friends.
Well, I try and be personable. So,
well, what did the papers say?
Well, I'm about to open it up right now, which I will say it's a little easier to open when they take the metal seal and the adhesive off of it. What about my First Amendment rights?
Seriously.
My goodness. What is wrong with this country? All right, let's see. Oh, I've got a business card to report to. Why is this written on a napkin with coffee stains? And what the heck? Hold on. Hey, oh, God, I gotta go.
Thank you, Miss Julie. That was that sounded troublesome. Who wants to follow that? Who wants to follow Miss Julie? Let me get this drink out of my fridge real quick. Oh no, I froze it. You ever put drinks? Does anybody else do this? I like my drinks like really, really cold. I don't like them over ice, so I put them in the freezer so they'll get a little slushy. And I forget and I freeze them all the time. Yeah, so hopefully Miss Julie's okay. Somebody can check on her. Sounds like she maybe trusted a fart and it didn't go her way. Welcome, Phoenix.
How you doing today, sir?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic.
Wow, that's really good.
I had coffee. We're good.
There you go. What do you want to talk about?
Well, you know what? This is one time I want to scare away from this shit going on over in Israel right now because I'm tired of crying.
I hear you.
But it's for, I mean, I live paycheck to paycheck. Okay.
Okay.
And I don't think that Democrats or Republicans have the answer. I think that they both screw up. I tend to lean more to the conservative side on a lot of my other issues, but I don't see how we're progressing. I think that we're just kind of spiraling downward. And I don't know what the solution is, honestly.
Well, where do you feel like we're spiraling downward?
I think Trump. I voted for Trump the first time. I think he had an opportunity to do really, really great things, and some of the things that he did were amazing.
Like what?
His policies in the Middle East went ahead and paved the way for some good things. If
Like what?
he would have,
Wait, did you say his policies in the Middle East? Is that what you said?
yeah,
Okay. What policies?
he was more of a friend to Israel than we've had in a while.
So what did that do?
It showed Iran that we weren't going to back down, and that Iran backed down from a lot of their rhetoric at the time.
Well, what are we seeing right now?
The complete opposite.
Yeah. Do you think that this has anything to do with unilaterally possibly moving an embassy? Do you think it has anything to do with like leaving the Iran nuclear deal? How do you think the Palestinians felt when Donald Trump announced a peace agreement without having any Palestinian representation?
Pretty pissed off, probably.
Imagine you and your neighbor were at odds, right? Whatever it is, like you were putting up a fence, you wanted hot pink, and they wanted forest green, and you called me in as a mediator, and you're like, hey, we got to figure this out. Let's come to a solution. And I was like, all right, cool. I'll be the mediator, and I met with just your neighbor, and I came back and I said, great news, we've got a peace agreement. We're going forest green. You're like, what do you mean we have a peace agreement? I said, well, I met with your neighbor, and we have a peace agreement. And you're like, well, why wasn't I involved in that peace agreement? And I said, it's fine.
Yeah, it's pretty fucked up.
What about announcing like peace agreements and economic agreements between Saudi Arabia and Israel, and then pocketing a lot of that money, having your son-in-law get $2 billion, and you yourself getting paid massive sums of money to host a golf tournament. Meanwhile, you're also the person who said, like, no matter what, like, my properties are always valuable because if I can't sell them, I'll just find a Saudi person to give me more than what I'm asking for. The Saudis will take care of me. What about that? Do you think that did a good job to make the Palestinians and the Iranians feel like more like moving towards peace?
I think the Iranians were just more cautious against us at that
right.
point.
That wasn't my question though, right?
Well,
my question was, do you think that advanced anything towards peace?
Probably not.
Probably not. So what Middle East what things in the Middle East did Donald Trump do that helped peace?
I guess not much, and I was
kind of looks like he was just setting himself up to make money. Now looking back with hindsight, with 2020 hindsight, it does look an awful lot like all he was doing is using Israel to line his own pockets. Work with Saudi Arabia, make sure he got a bunch of money. Did you know Jared Kushner got $2 billion from Saudi Arabia?
No, I didn't.
Okay, so after he left office, and he was the one that brokered these deals, he got $2 billion from Saudi Arabia, and he did it. They wanted him to manage their money, the $2 billion, right? Lots of money managers out there. Lots of people do that. It wouldn't be that uncommon for Saudi Arabia to give an American $2 billion to manage their money and invest it, right? Do you think it would be smart for Saudi Arabia to give that money to give money to be managed to somebody who's never managed money? Oh, it's over $3 billion now.
$3 billion?
Yeah, and did you know he's never managed, like he's never been a money manager before?
I don't know what his qualifications for anything are.
Yeah,
I don't really follow.
Well, and then I just one more question here. Did you know that none of that money's been invested? The only thing that's been taken out of that is the monthly management or the quarterly management fee that Jared Kushner gets.
No, I didn't know that.
Doesn't it kind of seem like Donald Trump just used his office in the presidency to enrich himself and his family?
Would seem so.
And now we're seeing, obviously, chaos in the Middle East. And this same guy who did nothing while he was president, nothing but actually create more tension, is standing up there saying this would never have happened with me. he set the wheels in. I mean, he didn't set the wheels in motion. The wheels were in motion already, but he did nothing to stop this. In fact, he probably accelerated it a little bit. So I would just say that like the stuff that you think he was amazing at in the Middle East, I think he was pretty poor at. But are there other things that you think during his presidency? Because I'm sure there's some stuff he did well. Are there other things that you really liked that he did?
Economically, I think we did better.
What's that?
Before COVID, economically, we were doing awesome.
Yeah, we were. Do you know, were we doing awesome when he took over as president?
Not as well.
Yeah, it's just we were doing slightly better after he took office, right? Did you know that we had seen economic growth for 6 straight years before he took office, including higher rates of GDP?
Well, the unemployment under him was ridiculously low.
It's lower now than it ever was under him.
It is?
Yep.
Son of a bitch.
Yeah, he did have historic unemployment numbers, but they're better now. Stock market's at a higher is higher. All the things he bragged about. And again, I don't think the president really has much to do with this, but since Donald Trump bragged about it all the time, I think it's fair to say like, okay, well, if you bragged about it, let's compare. Unemployment is lower now. The stock market is higher now. Wages are higher now.
Wages have been higher.
Wages are higher now than the wages are at an all-time high. The average median income is I think 63,000. When Donald Trump left office, it was somewhere I think around 58,000. So
I'll have to look at that. Do you have a source for that?
I could pull it back up. We went over it yesterday. Average. Where was that source? This was the. Is this the right one? Oh, that's real median. Where did I find that?
And is that adjusted for inflation?
No, it's not adjusted for inflation.
Okay.
But it wasn't adjusted for inflation for his numbers either. Those aren't just. If you're looking at real median, then yeah, that's going to adjust for inflation. But again, then if you're going to compare the numbers, you have to explain like was inflation caused by Trump? Was it caused by Biden, or was it caused by neither? And the answer is probably neither, right?
Yeah.
Because it's probably caused by COVID, right?
Yeah, no shit.
Yeah.
Having 2 kids going through COVID was absolute hell on them.
Yeah. What do you mean?
My daughter was having a really hard time dealing with the isolationism that we had to do because of COVID.
Oh, what state do you live in?
Oregon.
Oregon. Okay, so you guys were shut down pretty good?
Yeah.
Okay.
And my son was or is still on the spectrum and didn't really get what was going on and was feeling very claustrophobic about what and
do you think Donald Trump really could have done anything to prevent COVID?
I think he could have had a lot better response than he did, instead of denying so much of it.
Okay, fair enough.
He fucked it up, honestly.
Yeah.
I think.
Now you know that all that stuff would have been like state rules, but good. So how are you going to figure out who to vote for in 2024?
I'm going to be doing some research.
What's most important to you?
That I need to figure out. I've got
that's a good idea. Yeah, it's a good idea.
I mean, I want to have. I enjoy going out on the weekends, going out the range, and I have a lot of, and the fear mongering that happens with that, is annoying to me, because there are people on both sides who go ahead and they'll just throw lies out there, and it's ridiculous.
Right, but Biden clearly isn't going to do anything about restricting your rights to a firearm, right? Like, it's pretty clear now he's not doing that. What's he trying to do?
How many times is he saying we're going to take your AR-15?
I don't think he's ever said that.
I can pull up videos and show them to you.
Biden said we were going to get rid of AR-15s.
Oh yeah.
Are you sure you're not thinking of Beto?
Beto said that too.
Yeah.
Or he might have said that I know one thing that he specifically said because I saw him say it was that the AR-15 fires a round faster or 5 times faster than any other gun on the planet, which is complete made up.
Okay, yeah. So in 2020, he promised to outlaw the sale and manufacture of assault weapons. Doesn't look like he's going to do anything about it. Yeah. He said he was going to get an assault weapons ban. There's no chance he's getting that. But, yeah, you're right. So you're mad that he got a fact wrong too. See, this is why I ask. I ask this question because almost every time somebody comes up and they say they're independent, chances are they voted for Trump. They're looking for it now. But a lot of times when I ask what's important to you, I find that your reaction is largely going to be something that you know that you can go after Biden for, right? I mean, you have kids. You can't possibly think that like going to the range on the weekend is the most important issue for you, right? You said you said your son was on the spectrum. Is that right?
Yeah.
Why? How about better? How about better healthcare? How about more affordable healthcare? How about more access in public schools? How about more care in public schools, specifically for people that are on the spectrum? It seems like that would be like a really, really important issue for you.
It is, but the thing is in Oregon we spend more than 44 other states on education. We don't do jack shit with it.
What do you mean you don't do? What do you mean by that?
And we spend more than 44 other states per student, and it's tied up in freaking middle management. Instead of having programs for the kids.
Okay, yeah, that's a problem. That's a problem. I'm looking at it. Oregon does not fare well when it comes to education. I'm looking at their state rankings. They're way down there. Somewhere in the 30s. Looks like, depending on where you pull. Some have it as low as 40s.
Yeah. We've actually gone up then, because we used to be number.
So let me ask you a question. Do you think the answer to do you think the solution to fixing the schools in Oregon would be less funding?
I'm not saying less funding, but better allocated funding.
Okay, so do you think the Republicans are going to advocate for more or less funding for your public schools?
I think that well,
I can tell you what most of them are advocating for school choice. Do you know how that works? Essentially, you can take the money that you would spend on your taxes and you can go to the school of your choosing. The only people that are really able to do that are people who have the actual funds to go to a different school and the means to get their kids to and from that school, right? So this is going to disproportionately affect the people who cannot afford to do that, or maybe they have 2 working parents and they can't commute, right? And because that money is going to be taken out of schools that are historically not good schools, there will be less funding for those schools. What Republicans are essentially advocating for is that your schools that you already don't like, where money is already tied up. And it sounds like Oregon, if they went from the worst to like in the high 30s, sounds like they're going in the right direction. But if you went with the Republicans' plan, there would be less money for those schools.
But there'd be more money for schools that are doing better.
No, more schools or more money for schools where people want the kids to go. Right, it wouldn't necessarily mean they have to be better, but then that would make the schools where people can't afford to take their kid to another school, that would make those schools worse. So it would disproportionately affect poor people.
I mean, I was poor. I went to a private school for a while.
Yeah, but are you okay? But are you okay with that?
I sacrificed to go ahead and put my kids in private school.
No, are you okay with what I said, that Republicans would cut funding for school? They want to get rid of the Department of Education. They want to cut funding for education, and they want to allow school choice. In every one of those scenarios, it will disproportionately affect poor people. Right? I'm asking if you're okay with that.
I don't think it will affect them that way, because if parents...
if a school is struggling and they get less money, do you think they will get better or worse?
They might get worse, but there are other schools that can pick up the slack and do better.
Okay, and what schools are going to have less fun, or are people going to move out of? Because most of the time in your school district, it's based, your funding is based on property taxes. So usually areas where the population is generally poor, those schools do worse. So for the parents in those schools that can afford to take their kids out of those bad schools, those parents will take those kids out of those schools, leaving those schools less funded, meaning that the schools that are doing the worst will actually get worse. Right?
Possibly. There are.
I mean, not possibly. What's the scenario where it gets better? How would it get better if they lost funding?
If there's less kids going there, maybe the teacher to student ratio will actually go down as well, so they'll get better educated.
That's quite a stretch. That was a good one. I liked that one. So that's what you think the Republican plan is, that we'll do school choice. The good schools will get more students, the bad schools will get less students, and then the education will get better. That's what you're saying?
Yeah.
Okay. It feels like a stretch. It feels like a big stretch to me. I think you'd have a hard time. Number one, explaining that, and number two, like, how many people are going to leave that school? How many people would have to leave that school for the number to be right? Are you gonna have any money for special needs? Are you gonna have any money for like college prep classes? Are you gonna have any money to bring in like resources to help the students learn? Are you gonna have any money to bring in resources for after school activities? Stuff that looks good on a college education or application? Probably not, right?
Just a second. I'm not saying I have all the solutions, but that was my idea.
I'm not asking you for a solution, but if you're trying to figure out who to vote for, do you think you want to vote for the people who want to put less money in the schools or more money in the schools?
Depends on what they're going to do with the money, because just tossing money isn't the answer.
Okay, well, of course not. But if we're talking about sending, you think, is there a scenario where spending less money is going to be better?
I think school choice is better all around, personally.
How?
Because you'll be able to choose where your kids go.
But what about the people that can't choose?
If you have school choice, you get a choice. That's what
But if you can't take your kid to a different school, or if the private school you want to take your kid to doesn't accept your kid, you don't have a choice. School choice is only for those that can afford the choice.
See, the thing is, when I went to a private school, my parents sacrificed to do that. When I sent my kids to a private school, I sacrificed to do that.
That doesn't mean a goddamn thing, dude. Some people can't. Some people don't have the ability to sacrifice to do that. Some people don't have enough money. It's great that your parents sacrifice for your education. It's great if you want to sacrifice for your kids' education, but that doesn't mean that everybody can do that, right?
I think there's always a choice, and you make shit work.
Jesus Christ, dude. All right, so you're just not going to answer anything. You're just going to keep, like, you're going to go down to the end of this, like, there's always a choice. Okay, cool. So you want less, so you're voting for less funding for schools. What are some other things that are important to you? Middle East, that wasn't great. I guess you can just say, like, you would rather see less funding for schools. That's fine. That's your opinion. That's a win for the Republicans in your column. Less funding for school. What else?
I think we need to focus on honestly having better. Well, here's one thing for schools. Okay, I think we should bring back.
We left schools already. We're done with schools. We've done that already. It's a weird thing for you to say when you started this saying you live paycheck to paycheck. So I don't know if you're paycheck to paycheck. I'm not sure. Do your kids go to private school right now?
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Got it.
Even though I'm divorced, I'm still sending my kids to private school.
Cool. It just leaves. That was one of the weirdest conversations I've ever had. I went to public school. We didn't really have that many private schools, and they were all religious around me. I run with scissors. That sounds fun. Welcome.
Hey, I just, he already hung up. I was hoping to chime in when he was in there, but the other
No,
thing
go ahead.
about those school vouchers and choice and all that is those are great buzzwords and they sound great, but you also forget that those schools, they also get to choose who they admit into the school.
Right.
His kid who's on the spectrum, they're probably going to skip over his application because
Well, it sounds like his son on the spectrum is already in a private school. Sounds like, from what he's saying.
So the schools that everybody's going to want to put their kids in because they perform really well, those schools are going to get to be very selective about who they allow in. So not everybody who thinks that they're going to be able to get into this great school are going to be on the list of the school for their kids to even get in.
Right.
So I just wanted to make that point. I know you like to get opposition in here, and I am not that.
No, that was good. That was a really good point. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
This isn't something that like I spend a lot of time with. I've never had it. I was baffled by the end of it. Was like, yeah, if the school gets more poor, they'll be better. I've never had anybody like willing to just say that. And to be honest, I was a little shook. I was like, wait a minute, like, of course it's not going to get better. But yeah, there we are.
Yeah. Well, like you said, like they don't have solutions. They just don't. They have scare tactics. They have fear mongering, and that's their MO. That's how they operate. And when you start talking about solutions, then it just they pivot on is more fear. It's socialism. It's communism. You're a Marxist. You're a groomer. It's never ending. It's sad. But I love your content. I love listening to
appreciate it.
to people come in here and start really scratching their head.
Yeah, it's enjoyable.
And short circuiting in most cases, right?
Yeah.
Keep it up. Keep up the good work, and I love it. Thanks.
I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Yep.
Let's see if we can get some opposition for the last 25 minutes here. See if we can do it. Kim, Purple Kitty Kelly, I see you. If we can be real quick, I'll bring you up real quick, but let's try and get some opposition. Hey, Kim.
Oh, geez, I thought I dropped. I'm sorry.
Well, you better say what you have to say real fast then.
All right, so you can't use compassion. You can't use higher level thinking when you're having these conversations because they're just going to say like, oh, I sacrificed everything and my parents walked up a hill, both ways or whatever.
That's right. In the snow.
So the way that you talk through this conversation is, are you a homeowner? And if you are a homeowner, where do you live? You live in the suburbs? Okay. What drives the prices of your house? What drives the prices of your real estate value? Is it the public schools in the area? Okay, so if they gut the public schools and now they've all gone to crap, what's your resale value? Like this is your entire savings account for your retirement. So you are literally voting to gut yourself of all of your wealth.
That's a good argument. That's a really good argument, actually. I'm going to steal it. I'll let you know it's trademarked from you.
All right.
All right.
Have
Thanks,
a great
Kim.
day.
You too. See it. Thanks, Kim. There's one of our most passionate Discord members, and Purple Kitty Kelly, real quick. Maybe not. It's not loading. All right, box is empty. Looking for opposition. I'll jump on back over to Twitter. It's slow Friday. Is somebody else's? Is there another live that's going on that's really big, or is it just a slow day? Let's see what Charlie Kirk has to say. Oh, yeah, this. So, an instructor at Stanford University has been suspended for what the president and provost called identity-based targeting of students in connection with the Israel-Gaza war. Rabbi Greenberg, director of the Chabad Stanford Jewish Center, said he was told by 3 students who were in the room that the instructor asked Jewish and Israeli students to identify themselves during a session for a required undergraduate course called Civil, Liberal, and Global Education. The teacher told the Jewish students to take their belongings, stand in a corner, and said, "This is what Israel does to the Palestinians." Greenberg said, citing the student accounts. The instructor then asked how many people died in the... Oh, my God. Okay, well, that was stupid. Asked how many were unalived in the Holocaust. The student said 6 million. The lecturer said colonizers unalived more than 6 million. Israel is a colonizer. Look, whatever you think about those numbers, like that's... Yeah, that instructor probably deserves to be in trouble for that. That's a little bizarre. That was weird. But now you have Charlie Kirk, of course. Now Charlie Kirk is going to do his dumb shit Jewish donors are finally waking up to the fact that they've been paying for flashy buildings and state-of-the-art facilities on campuses only to house, employ, and give credibility to intellectual lightweights who despise them. The ideological and moral rot in American universities is not new, but it may have finally met its match. Dude, Charlie Kirk has this unique ability to make like the smallest thing as like a sign of conservatism taking over the country. Charlie Kirk is an idiot. Hey, happy birthday, C-Note. Another, careful if you're in the Discord following C-Note. He's going to say some things that'll make you laugh, but you'll feel bad that you laughed about them. Happy birthday, C-Note. You are the MVP. You are a co-MVP with Miss Julie today. Happy birthday, C-Note. If it's anybody else's birthday, you can let me know too. Box is still empty, so I'm just I guess we're gonna keep scrolling down Twitter for the rest of the day. What is this? I've been sent this clip saying Sean Hannity just personally ended the Vivek GPT candidacy live on air. I guess we can play this for a second. Let's see what this is.
Open anybody's opinion, but you kind of, what you're doing here is saying about Nikki Haley is you're saying that her concern for Israel is driven by financial and a corrupting influence, and your explanation that this disproportionate focus on rape, kidnapping, and murder of the Jewish people in this attack, and that and your quote, that there are frankly financial and corrupting influences that lead them exactly to speak the way they do.
Sean, that is a shameful mischaracterization when I'm talking about Azerbaijan
stop right now.
and
I'll
Armenia.
read the exact. You do this in every single interview. You
about
say stuff and then you
Azerbaijan and
deny
Armenia.
it. You deny your own words. So, why don't you just own what you say and stand by it and stop playing these games?
I am owning what I say, Sean.
Well, I'm just
Sean,
telling you what you say.
I am owning what I say. Well, I'm telling you,
you're a smart guy. I would assume you remember what you say.
X anytime they want. Yeah, I absolutely do. And so, Sean, maybe we have a debate that we need to have in our party. What's happening in Azerbaijan and Armenia was a separate discussion that I had, and I do believe that it is shameful that Azerbaijan is getting away with what they are because they have a powerful lobby in the U.S. But it is shameful to extrapolate that to the comments in Israel, where, to be honest, I have been crystal clear that what's happened is barbaric. It is medieval. It is wrong. And Israel absolutely said this since day one, say it now, has the right to defend itself to the fullest extent. Where I differ from other candidates in this field is that I also believe that this is Israel's decision to make. The U.S. should stand with Israel. But we need to be very careful not to enter a broader regional war in the Middle East.
I have not heard a single Republican, Vivek, I've not heard a single Republican call for that. But I really want an explanation here. I want an explanation to the. Can I finish? I want an exact explanation for your exact comments that there are frankly financial and corrupting influences that lead them exactly to speak the way that they do. Now, why would you say, what are the financial corrupting influences that Nikki Haley is taking a position on? We've got pictures of dead babies decapitated, burned babies' bodies. Sean, we've got the equivalent of what would be population-wise in the U.S. over 37,000 dead Americans. So how much more evidence do you, what are you talking about?
Sean, what I'm talking about is what's happening in Israel is an atrocity, and the U.S. absolutely,
you're not answering my question,
should stand with Israel.
Answer the question.
A separate question, which is the corrupting influence on our politicians. Well, the fact of the matter is, I think anybody who has been a military contractor, anybody who has made $8 million, including on serving on the board of Boeing, collecting stock options while running for U.S. president on corporate boards, has made money from military contracting through a family business, is disqualified from being the U.S. president in a time of war. I think we cannot see our march to World War III in this country. My top priority from a foreign policy perspective is avoid World War III.
Let me be straight. Because what you accused her of,
secure the U.S. homeland.
Your words,
Sean, if you want me to answer the question.
No, I've given you plenty of time to answer the question. I'm going to now restate your words. Frankly, financial corrupting influences that lead them exactly to speak the way that they do when they talk about atrocities with Israel. that, now you're telling me that if somebody in some capacity...
Whoa, when they talk about atrocities from Israel, Sean, don't mislead your audience. That was not... When we're talking about Azerbaijan, so don't mislead your audience, okay?
You are saying that there are, frankly, financial and corrupting influences that lead them exactly to speak the way that they do. Now, if you're saying... With those exact words of yours, you're not denying them again, are you? Those are your exact words. If that's what you're saying, my question is simple to you. You're saying that if somebody works for a defense contractor, that is a financial corrupting position when national security and defense is critical to the cause of freedom and has been throughout human history? And why would you accuse Nikki Haley of being corrupt?
I don't believe.
All right, I can't do any more of Vivek. He's the slimiest fucking politician. This is a weird thing that Republicans have done. They did it with Vivek. They do it with Trump. They do it with RFK. They call these people not politicians, and then they come on and they are twice as slimy as any politician. It's silly. It's Vivek. He's gross, and he's popular. He's popular with people who like Trump and who don't really want him to be president, but they pretend that he's like another option for them. Good to see Hannity for one time, like, not kissing the ass of a Republican, but everybody knows exactly why Hannity's doing this. He's doing this for Trump. Trump doesn't want to smear Vivek because Vivek is friendly to Trump, so Trump gets to stay away. He calls his boy Sean Hannity. He says, hey, by the way, bury him. Bury him, but only bury him on stuff that, like, I don't agree with. And so that's what Hannity's doing, just doing Trump's bidding over and over and over. Let me see what we got here. Let me check one thing real quick. I have Whisper trying to have somebody come up in the box real quick. If you are opposition, you're welcome to jump in the box. Oh, he's like, okay, it's not gonna work. Not gonna work. We thought we had a guess. We'll keep going down Twitter then. This is getting boring as hell. Somebody come talk to me. That's opposition, please. I'm bad at non-opposition. Go back to my search here. All right. I did see, what is this? Jordan and Egypt are preparing for a regional war with Lebanon and Syria. Hezbollah praised the attack and confirmed contact with Palestinian militant groups outside of Hamas at home and abroad. Confirmed Iran's aggressive military movement tells a dire story about the immediate future of the region. Great. Great. Things seem to be going very well in the Middle East. Seems to be going very, very well. I am just looking for opposition right now. Give me a few more minutes. Why are the Proud Boys trending? Some good tweet. The reason you never see the Proud Boys get arrested by the cops, the same reason you never see Miley Cyrus hanging out with Hannah Montana. What is going on with the Proud Boys? Why are they trending right now? They showed up to... That's old. Oh, Sonny Hostin on The View. I don't know who Sonny Hostin is. I think we all know Hamas has been a designated terror organization, just like many other terrorist organizations have this designation, like the Proud Boys here in the United States. Okay, that's probably a little far. Probably not a good characterization of the Proud Boys there. She's going to get a lot of shit for that. Got to be a little more careful with the way that you compare people to Hamas. Proud Boys are pieces of shit. They're a terrible organization, but probably be a little more careful with that. Trump saying, I kept Israel safe, all caps. Nobody else will. Nobody else can. And I know all of the players. Just saying, hey, like, support me for fascism. Oh, sorry, Maggie. I didn't see that. Maggie, you can come up. Sorry, I didn't see that. If you want to make a comment real quick. I will come back on later tonight. I will. I'm running out of time. Maggie, did you want to jump up? Sorry, I just didn't see you in there. Hi, Maggie. Maybe. Hey. Hey, Maggie.
I just wanted to let you know that I got some HVAC, some HVAC merch. And I just wanted to just give him a shout out real quick.
Let's do this.
We're really enjoying his merch.
There's the Shushies shirt.
Yeah. So
Thank you.
Just got it today. Just wanted to give him a quick shout out.
There you go. Shout out HVAC. Shushies, buddy. Shushies. Thanks, Maggie.
Have a good one.
I appreciate it. See ya. The link to my merch is in my link tree. I've had many people say that the link to the Discord in my link tree is broken. I know. And I can't really fix it. I can keep updating it all the time, but it won't matter. So if you want a link to the Discord, shoot me or any of my moderators a message. We have Korean Leftist is here, Infectious Bites, Bree Zaza, Jen. I think, is that all that has access to that? And Whisper. Those are the people that have access to the invite. So you can send either one of them or myself a DM. If you send it to me, I'll probably get back to you a little slower than the rest of them. But the Discord is popping. Great job, Discord, today. MVP for C-Note. Happy birthday, C-Note. MVP to the Discord. Happy Friday to the Discord. I'll do whatever I can to get on tonight. We'll see. I got a very liberal girlfriend who might have something to say about that. And as you all know, I'm terrified of her. And I do what she says because I am a liberal soy boy beta cuck. I will be back at some point this weekend. I was supposed to be out of town this weekend. That has changed due to a sick daughter. So I'll be here this weekend. I will have some time on my hands. Did I miss anything? I don't think I missed anything. Miss Julie, look for a couple more Miss Julie clips to go up today. Those will also be posted on YouTube. I will clip the entire thing together this weekend and have it up on YouTube at some point this weekend. If you can subscribe on YouTube, it's free. Like the videos, helps me a ton. I need to get about, I think, 3,000 watch hours. So I tell you what, even if you just click on one of my long form videos and you just play it in the background, you don't even want to watch the whole thing, that helps. If you're bored, you got an extra device, you can just roll through my videos. That helps us. We plan on going live on Discord. We have some debates potentially set up. Let me give you some exciting news. That's not news yet, but some exciting opportunities that may come to fruition. Spike Cohen, a former VP candidate for the Libertarian Party, we're in conversations with Spike about not a debate, but more of an interview. We plan on using our YouTube for long-form conversations. So not a debate, but we want to have candidates on, have long-form interviews, and we want to push them a little bit, and we want them to be aware of that. No, Spike Cohen. We do have somebody that's trying right now I have a mutual friend in the RFK campaign, and he's working on seeing if we can get RFK on for a discussion. Those will take place on YouTube. So make sure that you're following the YouTube live events like that, where we have a little bit more control. We can speak a little bit more freely on YouTube. So just keep that in mind, because for some of those interviews, we have to say words that aren't necessarily TikTok friendly. So we'll have to be careful on that. Last thing, if there are Republicans or conservatives or moderate Democrats that you would like me to debate, I don't spend a lot of time going on other channels on TikTok. If there are people that you would like me to debate, reach out to them personally. See if they would like to. If they're interested in debating me, reach out to me. I'll get one of my mods to reach out to them. I'd be happy to debate the people that you guys come across. I'd be happy to do it in a way that's fun, in a way that's not like angry, and in an organized way. So if you have that, let me know. And is it RTP? Oh yes, it's RTP Talks J on the YouTube. That's what you're asking. Yes. Anyways, thank you guys for the support. I'll see you at some point this weekend. If you don't see me this weekend, 9:30 a.m. to 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, Monday through Friday. We're always here, and I will see you guys soon.